got my chat set to all messages. Talk chat. Live chat. Live chat's what it is. Just to get started here, we'll make sure that sound works by doing a bit of a vocab list. Accumulate, adapt, adequate, adjacent, analyze, anticipate, appropriate, artifact, benefit, calculate, catastrophe, chronological. These are all words at a 6th grade reading level with Quiver. Got 4 people in the feed. We'll continue with a few more grade 6 vocabulary words at the same level as Quiver. Citizen, civilization, compose, conclusion, congruent, it's a little tougher than I thought, consequence, construct, continuous, contrast, contribute, declare, democracy, dimension. These are all words at a 6th grade reading level, just like Quiver. See 10 people in the chat, okay, big vocabulary fans. Just so you know, we're going to be reviewing the channel behind me here, Cowboy Criminology. I think there's 2 things to watch here. It's going to be exclusively Sarah Boone content, but also there's some real parallels between his channel and my channel. So he stopped producing videos a year ago, did videos for a year solid. I think the Sarah Boone content is fantastic. You're going to see as an expert viewpoint, looks at things a little different than a lot of the traditional analyzers did. And I think second guesses himself the same way that a lot of, that I second guess myself even getting into doing Sarah Boone creations. So we've got some interesting stuff. If there's 10 here, I think I'll stop with I'll do 10 more vocabulary words, and then I'll turn off this phone and go into the chat, say hello to everyone, and then we'll get started with the channel review. Thank you all for coming out on a Saturday night. 10 more words. Exhaust, factor, ferocious, history, insists, narrate, obedient, realistic, peculiar, unanimous, tentative, violate. Again, those are all words at a grade 6 reading level, just like Quiver. Okay, what have I done? Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's all good. Welcome here on a Saturday night. I'm just going to log into the chat, and we'll get started with the channel review and then with the video. Jackie Anderson's here. NK Did It is here. Fantastic. I know things have been going tough out of the ice storm into personal. Glad you were able to make it, NK. Thank you. Deb Richardson, Joshua Lee, Santiago Schroyer, Carolina Hurtado, Candace, VC Wants a Pony, and McCallum's here. All right. Well, we're going to get this started. It's going to be us getting the party started. I'm sure people are going to join us as we go. I'm going to try and do the weather girl thing and point to things in reverse behind me. So first we're going to look at his channel, Cowboy Criminology. We'll go down to his videos. That's for me. Let's see, videos. No, that's live streams. That's videos. Go over to the first stuff he did, and then, and because it's reversed, I'll explain what the view counts and stuff are. We'll spend 5 minutes on this, and then it's an 1.5 hour long video he has analyzing body cam footage as though he was the person the prosecutor hired to help them develop a strategy based off of the case info. So it says 2 years ago, this would be when he started his channel. 100 views on his early videos. He did a video introducing himself, which I heard from the YouTube gurus, just start doing your content. Your introduction's not going to go to anyone because YouTube doesn't know who your channel's for yet. So, but yeah, it does his early stuff. He's getting 20 views, 28, 11. Then does the first one on Adri Cunningham. This one gets 2,000 views, so he's getting his traction here. A little bit, and I liken this to the first time I got noticed. I think when I read the Lana texts that were on Reddit, a bunch of people tuned into the live stream. I was immediately a little like, oh crap, there's people watching me. Like, thought I was just recording this live and could edit it in the morning. But regardless, it made me feel a little bit like, okay, this is real. People might tune into me. Let's not just go live without thinking. But then he does a few more videos, and 72, 770, 16 views. 16 views. You spend 20, well, it's 20-minute long video, probably spent day, 2 days making it. So, you know, the discouragement's got to be setting in. See, all these are less than 100, mostly 50. This one, a little bit more general about cashless bond. He's got 340 views, but that's after putting out like a half dozen videos that are getting less than 100. 18, 71, 15, 48, 31. And he's consistent. These all say a year ago. He's probably putting them out every week, I would say. Because even the Sarah video is a year ago, and that's near the end of the coverage for his channel, which is a little ironic because it's when he was starting to get his first traction with well, Sarah Boone was getting a lot of people some views at that time, and I think maybe he was discouraged by the fact that other channels were doing a lot better with their Sarah content than he was. But that said, we'll watch it tonight, and you can tell me. But I think he has a unique perspective, and if things went differently, he could still be he could be one of the top YouTubers right now. Here's one we're going to watch. So it's an hour and a half long, and it's his first one approaching 2,000 views since his breakthrough video. He's done 5 or 6 other ones since then. He does the interrogation in 3 parts, so we'll watch that together. Not all tonight. We'll just be doing this one tonight. But still, by the end of it, nothing besides his Sarah Boone content is getting him thousands of views. Everything else is in the hundreds. His final few videos, 28 views, 70. So now that's it. I've looked into his channel. On the community page he posted, he was going for his law degree. So very well, he was just, you know, I put in the time, didn't work out. Now I'm going to do the next thing. But if he's out there, I would love to be able to interview him, talk about his series of videos, what it was like starting a small channel, all that kind of thing. In any case, we'll get into this one because there's some things you see, like, you know, why he didn't gain traction. He starts really slow. He's kind of introducing who he is, why he's doing the video series. It's relevant to me, so I'll be able to pause and comment on that. But I could see at the time this video was released, which was, I think, September of 2024, we were watching pre-trial stuff. We were watching live coverage. I was in caricatures most mornings in her live chat with, you know, devouring every live piece of info. So this kind of reasoned, thoughtful info just didn't make it on my radar. It wasn't until I was starting this channel and researching other channels that tried and stopped. And I was doing that so I didn't become one who would try and stop. I wanted to at least try and give it my full year. Anyway, let's get into this because he does get into a little preamble first. I think what I'll have to do is dial in the sound. So we'll see. Tell me if this is too loud. That can't be too loud because it's not on.
You still have all the fingers, toes, and appendages that you had before the holiday.
That's not bad.
If you ended up missing some, sorry to hear that. And if you ended up with some...
This could be better. No, it's not better. Unless...
I had a special request, and shame on me. I've kind of been putting it off just because the case is 4 years old, and it's been going on for half of forever. And some of you have probably already figured out which case I'm talking about.
Oh, that's a little scratchy.
But... I mean, obviously the title of the video probably gave that away, so that probably didn't need to be said in the first place. Anyway, but it'd been going on for a while, and
You
I
know
was
what?
so
That sounds
late
scratchy.
getting into
I'm going to go back to number 1.
that I didn't really feel like I had anything to add to it.
And let's rewind.
Lawyer, the behavior.
So he's already getting to who he feels like might have covered this better, and he's second guessing himself right at the beginning of the video, and he's got way more experience than I do. But he feels like he's coming to it late. That what's he got to add to it, and brings up the behavior panel even, which in my opinion did one of the worst initial reactions. But let's listen to him now.
Obviously, the title of the video probably gave that away, so that probably didn't need to be said in the first place. Anyway, but it'd been going on for a while, and I was so late getting into the case that I didn't really feel like I had anything.
LCB, hey, how's it going?
Lawyer, the behavioral panel, so many other channels have done really, really good pieces on this, and I really wasn't sure if there was anything that I could add.
I'll say right off the bat, he's a experienced Texas, I believe at least a police officer at one point, but then going into criminal law, and like I said, just got his law degree, so definitely has the chops to comment on this. But
and that being said, to be fair, I never really tried. I never really dove deep into it. And so I spent the weekend thinking, okay,
it's a good point that Candace makes, that Chelsea did a crappy interrogation, and I can't dispute that. I think the biggest thing that bothered me listening to them is they assumed that she needed to do a good interrogation to get the info. And this was one of those cases where all the facts were already in their hands. So, obviously do a better job, but she, knew on the job and came to this case with like, who is this? Like, she's trying to tell me she didn't do it. We just spent the last 6 hours. Like, I'm sure she was up all night if Sarah was sleeping. Well, I guess Sarah couldn't sleep because, it's just punishment enough. But anyway, it's a good point, Candace. But I think he brings something completely different. He highlights a lot of people that kind of get overlooked in the footage too. So I like that about his coverage. I like his backdrop too.
I'll talk about Sarah Boone because it was a viewer request, and I always want to do viewer requests. But I wasn't really sure how to go about it without retreading what everyone else has done. And so I started thinking
about 73,
this
hey, how's it going?
In terms of, well, what if I had been contacted by the prosecution here July 2024 and asked to...
So this is great. So that gives us the timeline right there. July 2024, this is just before the Pro Se stuff happened. And he's acting as though he's being given all this material by the prosecution to examine and just give his take as a professional forensic investigator, like what to hit on in the trial, what to, ask more questions about, what to dig at, that sort of thing. So I think that really lays out his perspective to this body cam footage. And the body cam footage is from the day of the incident. It's not the past body cam footage. So it's, day 1, 0 hour, they're showing up to the scene.
Give a criminal investigative analysis about Sarah Boone, about her behavior, and kind of help plan strategy. And that opened up a whole bunch of different possibilities. So
cheers, Deb Richardson. Always fun to find something.
And I found Law and Crime had the full initial body cam video of the first interaction with Sarah Boone after the 911 call. Now, for those of you who don't know, Sarah Boone is a Florida woman who's accused.
This is perfect. So for anyone who's not aware of who Sarah Boone is, it's here in the chat. We'll get a really quick summary. Dorgan, you're just joining us. I don't think you need the summary, but Dorgan, who we're watching here, is a guy called Cowboy Criminologist that did videos for a year ago, stopped in the last year, still sitting at 570 subscribers, channel's about the same size as mine, and I took it as a case study and not getting discouraged and just continuing, because I think some of this is really good, and I think if he stuck with it, it would be successful. But we'll keep watching.
Of playing a game of hide and seek with her live-in boyfriend, and somehow during a drunken game of hide and go seek, he got himself into a suitcase. She knew that he was in the suitcase, which kind of defeats the purpose of hide and seek. Left him in there, went upstairs and fell asleep. And
so he's giving Sarah credit, but still, how do you summarize
found out that he was dead inside the suitcase. So that,
I don't know if any of you have tried getting friends and family into the case that aren't, but it's really difficult to summarize the case, like, in 3 minutes without getting some parts of it. Like, you really should elaborate that hide and seek didn't happen or XYZ, but you go off on so many rabbit holes that nobody wants to listen to the story anymore because you've gotten away from the main facts. So I don't know if you guys have faced that challenge, but I've definitely had that challenge trying to describe why I'm still covering her in 2 minutes or less.
that really, as of right now, is about the only
Love Paul and Helen.
real knowledge that I have of the case. I wanted to make myself somewhat familiar with the case, but I kind of want to go back and I kind of want to just explore this case as if I'm seeing it for the first time. And I hope it's going to be helpful to you to kind of hear my analysis of what I'm seeing on the.
So I'm just going to read. Any of the text is obviously mirrored and going to be difficult to read. So it says, "This helps me create an unbiased profile based on my perception of the evidence." So as a new creator, I'm sure he's watching this video and realizing, oh crap, I didn't explain why I'm doing what I'm doing. So anytime he throws one of those up there, I'll pause it and read it.
Body-worn camera from the officers involved. And this is probably going to be a three-parter. There's a whole lot. The Sarah Boone case, as if a murder victim being found in a suitcase is not
looking at my phone. If you
enough.
see me constantly looking down, just watching the chat.
Recently, last month, I believe it was, she had fired her 8th attorney in 4 years. And y'all, most of her attorneys, I was looking at the judge's ruling.
So this is after Cashman.
And some of her attorneys didn't make it 6 months. I mean, some of them were appointed and within weeks they were working to get removed from the case. I want to save that for a different video, and that'll kind of be the tie-in.
So again, if we were watching this in the time that he posted it in September of 2024, see how long this intro is, you probably would have just skipped on to something that, even though you could skip ahead to his content, there's some real basic issues that he had with his presentation, even though we'll see his information is fantastic.
Video, how everything ties together. So this video is going to be the body camera footage breakdown. The next video, I want to look at the interrogation, because there's
all the body
really
cam footage will be right here in this kind of area.
I didn't.
I'll zoom in on it sometimes when it's appropriate.
I want to give you my firsthand, unedited, unfiltered, what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, kind of perspective. And then in the last video, I'm going to kind of tie everything together. And I'm really hoping that between now and the third video, things don't just completely explode. I think we're safe there.
Good call to think things could blow up.
That Sarah Boone will have to represent herself.
No, Amy, I can give you a quick rundown what we're doing here. It's old stuff, so if you know Sarah Boone, easy to catch up. And this is a bit of a channel review as well as a commentary on his analysis of the Sarah Boone body cam footage. So this guy's named Cowboy Criminologist, did a channel for a year, 2 years ago started. His last videos were right around the time of the Sarah Boone trial. Most popular video doesn't have more than 2,000, 3,000 views. Excuse me. But he's smart. He knows his stuff. He's approaching this very individual. He's not piggybacking on other people's info like some people do. Me. All of this is, some really solid analysis from a person with law enforcement experience, and I think is different from what a lot of people were covering at the time. But because of super long intros and, we're 20 minutes into my video, he hasn't even started the body cam footage of, well, I spent 5 minutes reviewing his channel, but still, he's taken a long time to get into what he's going to do. It's an hour and a half long, so we get plenty of body cam footage to analyze, but that's what we're doing here, Amy. And yeah, you're not that late at all. Welcome.
She's released, she sent out a 58-page manifesto, for lack of a better word. And we'll get more into that. She made some good points, and she made some not so good points. But like I said, we'll talk about that more in the last video when we kind of tie everything together. So just as an exercise, let's do a criminal investigative analysis. But we're brought in right now, today, here, July 2024, and we're gonna look
set the
back
stage again. Here we go.
at how the case has progressed, and try to help the prosecution build a strategy for dealing with Sarah Boone. Is a strategy going to be necessary in this case?
Exactly.
I don't know, but this case has, this case is like, has turned into a bad daytime soap opera. It's just got a level of unbelievable that could only come from a bad daytime soap. So we're gonna go to the video, and I'm gonna start breaking it down for you. So let's see what we've got.
There we go. Video time. He made it.
So one of the first things you need to know is that police body camera footage, there's always
this is good info right here.
30 seconds, a minute, sometimes even 2 minutes. You get video, but you don't get audio.
If you've ever wondered why.
And so this one, I think there's a 1 minute lag between what's actually happening and what the recorder has picked up.
So basically, when you activate your camera, there's already 60 seconds of video history that's in the... So let's say you just saw something happen. Boom, you hit your camera. You'll know it's going to record what just happened. Kind of like a dash cam. If you got into a car accident, it records what just happened plus what's happening after. But good to know, because that's why all those body cams start off quiet before they just come in mid-sentence. Yes, it's Cowboy Criminology. I've got a link to it in the description, and I think that's the only place I've linked it. And I've linked just his direct channel, not a particular video. But Cowboy Criminology, 570 subscribers as of this live stream. So look, it's a smaller channel. You might have to scroll down after putting in those terms, but it's great. Anyone who's in here, by all means, watch his videos before we watch them together, and then you'll have some stuff to share with the chat when we're rewatching it.
So this is after the 911 call. I think you're going to see emergency services are on scene.
Thank you, Elsie. LCB has posted the channel.
Apartment complex. Yeah, you start seeing fire and ambulance.
And here comes the audio.
Body camera kicks in. 1 minute.
It's signal 7, so it's gonna be turned over to you guys. Yep.
Okay, signal 7. It's going to be turned over to you guys.
This is the first guy
Signal
here
7,
explains this. I'm going to rewind it just a second. Let's see. But one of the first responders says Signal 7, and I've never heard anyone comment on it. So we've gone back 10 seconds. Watch this or listen.
It's Signal 7, so it's going to be turned over to you guys.
Yep.
Okay, Signal 7 is going to be turned over to you guys. Signal 7 in Florida, the best I can imagine is somebody on scene is deceased, and that's why it's, efforts to revive and resuscitate have failed. Now we need to figure out if there was any criminal what for. In Texas, we use the radio code 10-7, and when we're describing an on-scene death. Now, this creates problems because other places 10-7 is ending my tour, ending my watch, going off duty, something like that. So
Pinned.
that's why 10 codes and radio codes have been highly discouraged since 9/11.
This was a huge
in
problem,
the
9/11. You had everyone
FEMA,
coming from
Federal
different
Emergency
departments.
Management Administration.
So you have one guy who's saying, hey, I've got 10-7, which means, dead body, and to another just means I'm finishing the shift. So it shows the problem with non-standardized terms. But he's showing his law enforcement chops as soon as he heard that, and I've never heard anyone comment on that part of it. So you'll see a lot of kind of inside baseball about the way the police act on the scene with this video.
Debriefing, they found one of the biggest problems on 9/11 was a lack of communication, because even within the New York City infrastructure of fire, ambulance, and police, they were using different codes. And a code for fire meant something different to police, meant something different to ambulance, and it caused a lot of mass confusion. Now, on top of all that, it's New York City. So you have law enforcement agencies from other jurisdictions flocking to try to help, and not understanding radio codes, using their own radio.
What I also like is for how long he took to start the video, how much footage have we seen? Like 7 seconds, and he's got 10 minutes of commentary, which is great. There's a lot of people that, really don't have anything to say and spend too much time saying nothing, which could be me. So let's go back to him.
Radio codes, radios not being able to communicate with each other because they're on different frequencies. They're on different brands, different programming, incompatibility with being able to talk to each other. All of those things contributed to mass confusion and chaos in a situation that was already fraught with mass confusion and chaos. So as a general rule, the National Incident Management System kicks in an emergency, and for law enforcement, we're really bad.
So now again, for perspective, this video came out when we were getting September, trial footage information, like lots of exciting new Sarah material. So very easy to see how this faded into the background, almost like his chair fades into his silhouette background here.
About using that. We're really slow to use that, and fire, it does a great job of doing that. So it is not uncommon for the emergency manager, the on-site emergency manager, to be a firefighter. They know how to coordinate. They use NIMS all the time. And law enforcement, we're slow to change. We're still using 10 codes to talk to each other. And for small scale things like, not referring to a possible homicide as a small scale thing, but in an incident that doesn't involve mass casualties, mass panic, this is more controllable. But a lot of agencies have started to prohibit 10 codes outright. And so, all right, that being said,
Yeah, his whole setup, Elsie, is kind of, I'm not one to judge because my setup, I'm sitting on the floor in front of my TV here, but he uses the bottom third of the screen, and you'll see when we do, I think it's a second video, he switches over to a new video editing software, and the software runs a banner ad right across the bottom third of the screen. Basically, what's being taken up here by my information bar while I'm on pause is this big banner ad, and then his whole top 2/3 is just this lovely background. So, yeah, there's some basic things that I could have done better, but there's so much that he does well. It both, makes me feel good about my journey so far, but also, opens my eyes to how, just stick with it, because if you're doing something well and people appreciate it, give it time, let it grow. Speaking of which, let's watch this video that
Get out of the way for ambulance and fire.
they haven't even got out of the car yet.
He was last seen last night, so.
You could get all your guys out of there.
What's that?
You could get everyone out of there.
Try some of this.
Oh, yes, thank you.
So I'll just do this for the relevant.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop it right there. So this deputy,
He doesn't stop it quite
I
as
don't know
much
if
as it
we ever
goes
get
on,
her
but
name.
Kayla
I'm
Rodriguez.
incredibly impressed with her.
Yes,
She shows up. She's ready for work.
this is one of my favorite parts.
She's already telling people, okay, if this is what's going on, we need to get everybody out. It's now a crime scene. We need to treat it as such. She goes to the back of her car, which is incredibly organized. And maybe this is just the supervisor in me, but I love seeing an organized car. This is an officer. This deputy right here is ready for work, and she's already taken charge of the scene, but she's done it in a way that lets me know that she's got some experience. She's gonna work it. She's gonna process. She hasn't made up any preconceived notions about what's happened because she hasn't talked to anybody yet.
Agreed,
But
Oregon. Yeah,
she
doesn't get enough flowers.
she's demonstrated that she's in control. She's in command.
Flowers in the
But
chat for
she
Kayla
hasn't had
Rodriguez.
to do this. I'm in charge. What's going on. She's not barking orders
Nope.
at people.
Just calm,
But
controlled.
you can tell this is not her first rodeo coming onto a scene and taking charge. And she just does a great job.
Oh, that's his screen.
Okay, so this form that she's pulling out looks like, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right here. Looks like she's trying to identify.
Sorry for the jerky,
everybody
but I
who
think
is
it's
on
better to
scene.
see the body cam when it comes
That's
up.
going to be, that's a huge detail that often gets overlooked, but she's going to want to know who was in the apartment. She's going to want to go back, interview them. What did you touch? What did you lean up against? What path did you walk? Depending on what all was found or the direction that the case goes, she may want to go so far as to take elimination fingerprints, elimination footprints, things like that. But my guess, my understanding is that that's the form that she's getting out, and she's going to get the information of everybody who's been involved up to this point.
Again, super perceptive to pick that up just off of this kind of footage, because most people skip right by it. This is how we should have framed this video, by the way.
I love that. She knows where all of her stuff is. She's prepared. Now that's awesome, man. Fantastic job, deputy.
For now.
Oh, right there.
Did you call it? What time did you call it?
I like how Pink Shorts is blurred, but it's only because she's in front of the door.
Hello there.
It's like, no, you can't bear to see her. She's awful.
We gotta get some information
I
from
know.
the fire
That's
department.
the property manager. I don't know if I should go tell him really quick or
We'll
just so he
take
knows
care of
what's going
that.
on.
Where is he at?
He walked that way.
Oh, don't worry about that. We'll take care of that for you, okay?
Don't worry about that. Not your biggest problem here, ma'am. It's like he laughed at my joke. That was nice.
I had a cigarette lit.
Get it for you, okay? Wait, one
I had a
second.
cigarette going.
I really need something to drink.
Okay, well,
I got my Dr. Pepper on the counter.
okay, we'll take care of you. Give me 1 second.
Okay, so I love how she acknowledges this person's request for a cigarette for
Acknowledge
for a
it, but
drink.
don't give it.
But she's also maintaining situational awareness and protecting the crime scene or the potential crime scene. This deputy obviously has a lot of experience. This is not her first rodeo. This is not her first time doing this. But I love how collected she is, how calm she is, and how, like, for her, nothing is a big deal right now. Everything can wait. Nothing
You're
needs
thirsty,
to be
we'll
rushed.
deal with it in
And
order.
I think that demonstrates a level of confidence as well as competence that as far as a supervisor goes looking at this, this is textbook. This is how you handle a crime scene as the first officer on scene, and just wow.
At the time, 7:13 that you called it. You got the time you called it? Okay, perfect. You can't go back inside. What's going on? Who is he to you? Boyfriend?
Yes, for like 3.5 years.
What happened?
He and we drank last night. We had a
Can you pass this to the around to the SD guys? Stop. They need to sign that for sure.
They're with me, so they're
Oh, they're not leaving?
leaving.
Okay.
I'll walk around.
No. Each of them has to. This might be a real thing. But each of them has to put their name.
Normally
in
we
it.
all I just put everybody.
Okay.
Did y'all catch that?
I caught it.
Each of them has to sign it because this could be a real scene.
This could be a
She's
real
already
scene.
going into this with the idea that this is a suspicious death, okay? Which outside of a hospital,
Smart,
law
smart,
enforcement
smart,
officers
smart.
are always taught to view a non-physician attended death as suspicious,
It's 1 o'clock, ma'am.
even if it's what most people would call an apparent suicide or an obvious suicide.
Excuse me.
You always work it as a homicide. And the idea behind that is that if you work it as a homicide from the beginning, you don't miss details in collecting evidence, in doing interviews, one thing or another, that don't lead to a false conclusion.
I just got here, so fill me in.
No problem. Like,
Yeah, I'm
you know,
just sorry.
we're putting a puzzle together. We've been doing some artwork together.
Putting a puzzle.
A puzzle together?
Yes, we have a puzzle that we started in there.
Okay.
We've been doing art, trying to take stuff off the wall to make new art put up there, like having a good time with one another. But we're drinking. We had a bottle of wine last night.
Okay.
So then it's like we decided to play hide and seek, right?
Okay.
So he gets in the suitcase. Okay.
Who is this guy?
That's my ex-husband, my former husband.
How did he live here with you guys?
No, I called him over here.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
So then he came over here.
Here, let's talk in private, okay?
Okay,
Again, good,
so
good move.
this right here is something that is going to need to be investigated because she calls her ex-husband. And the timing of that call
Beth of a
is
salesman, welcome.
very important. Now, I have this argument with a lot of people watching crime procedurals or
100% Vel. Yep.
crime movies where something happens that is easily explainable. If people will just call 911 at the get-go and immediately get help. And the argument always seems to be, well, people don't always act rationally in an emergency. I get that. But y'all got to realize a lot of these TV shows, a lot of these procedurals, a lot of these crime thriller movies, they'd be over in the first 15, 20 minutes if somebody would just call 911 and say, hey, this happened, I need some help. Now, in the homicide investigation classes that I've taken, one of the things you always want to look for is the order in which notifications were made. Who was called first? How long between a call to an ex-husband, another family member, and 911 is there? Why is the ex called first? What's the relationship there? That's also going to have to be investigated. It wouldn't be uncommon for a child, for a teenager, a young adult to call a family member first before they called 911. So it does happen, but that's what I'm going to call the first suspicious thing I see, and that's something that I'm going to want.
You guys. The problem is I fell asleep. When did you do CPR? This morning.
Ah, that was a low power warning.
Before you called? Yes.
That saved us.
It's 1 o'clock right now.
It's 1 o'clock right now.
I was awake, but I actually got out of the bed at like 12:30ish, whatever. So I came downstairs, and I was like, oh, he's in the Duke.
Boom. It's 1
I'll keep
o'clock
moving it
right
then.
now. You did it this morning. All right. Great question from a veteran investigator.
You have time, all the time you need.
And I have to believe that she's got a lot of experience, because that's just not a question that a patrol officer just off of FTO is going to know to ask or think to ask. So they played hide and seek last night. She gets up this morning, performs CPR.
I'm having a snack.
And now it's 1 o'clock. So
Put on a collared
there's a
shirt
lot of
for you
time.
guys, though.
So let's see where this leads us.
That's when I found him, and I took him out. I tried to CPR, and then I called him, and then I called
She got up to 12:30.
Before the fire department got here?
Yes.
Are you at something? Okay. Where'd you live at?
right down the street.
Okay. So you were planning to be a victim of this?
I did, but then I fell asleep.
I did.
You're okay. I wasn't here. I'm just trying to figure out what
I
happened.
fell asleep, so I don't know if he suffocated or like had an aneurysm or a heart attack or
What kind
what.
of medical conditions did you have?
None that I know of.
Nothing that you know of.
None
You
that I
didn't take
know
any
of.
medicine?
No.
No.
All we have.
Hold on, what was that message on the bottom?
Victim of this?
I did, but then I fell asleep.
Okay.
Fell asleep.
You're okay. I wasn't here. I'm just trying to figure out what
I
happened.
fell asleep, so I don't know if he suffocated or like had an aneurysm or a
Ah, so this is the only time she ever mentions the word.
What kind of medical conditions did you have?
none that I know of.
Nothing that you know of.
None that I know
That's
of.
no good.
No.
Go away. This is the only time she mentions the word blank.
No. All we had was a bottle of wine. Literally, just a bottle of wine.
Okay.
Doing puzzle artwork. Then we decided to play hide and seek. That's all that happened.
Okay.
So I don't know if he had a heart attack or what in there. Like, I don't know what happened.
So how long were you doing CPR on?
2 grown adults
What did I miss?
consuming a bottle of wine. Now, from my bartending experience, I can tell you that a bottle
Yeah,
of
she
wine
did the CPR and went to sleep, if anything.
split
Like, God,
between
oh
two
crap, that
adults
didn't work.
is
Oh, well,
2
I'll just go to
glasses
sleep for
each,
another 8 hours.
provided they were sharing fairly. Unless it was a Magnum, and
Okay,
the Magnum would hold significantly more.
I wanted
weight.
to know, too. Thanks for
If it's an
asking,
average
Morgan.
bottle of
I
wine,
missed something. It said it in the bottom of the screen text. We'll go from here. But if I pause it,
Right down the street.
it's going to cover up the text. So
you were planning to be
I'll watch it this way.
I did, but then I fell asleep.
Nope, maybe even further back than that.
I wasn't here. I'm just trying to figure out what happened.
Okay.
And then I called him, and then I called
she got up at
Did you
12:30.
get here before the fire department got here?
Who?
Your husband? Or your ex-husband? Okay. Where did you live at?
right down the street.
Okay. So you were planning to be a victim of this?
I did, but then I fell asleep.
I did.
Okay. You're okay. I wasn't here. I'm just trying to figure out what
I
happened.
fell asleep, so I don't know if he suffocated or like had an aneurysm.
Suffocated.
Or a heart attack or what.
Medical
Suffocated.
conditions did you have?
None that I know of.
So that's kind of key, too. Then he picked that up. Like, he didn't even pick it up in his live reaction. It was after listening to it. He probably went back, re-listened. She knows he suffocated. She knows it. So we'll watch that again. Because that is huge. The fact that because nobody really brings up that she says that. Thank you for making me go back, Dorgan. I was like, first you don't succeed, try again. Nope.
So you were planning to get some updates.
I did, but then I fell asleep.
Okay, you're okay. I wasn't here. I'm just trying to figure out what
I
happened.
fell asleep, so I don't know if they suffocated or like had an aneurysm or a heart attack or
What
what.
kind of medical conditions did you have?
None that I know of.
Nothing that you know of.
None
Did
that
you
I
take
know
any
of.
medicine?
No. All we had was a bottle of wine. Literally. Just
Literally.
A bottle of wine.
Except by literal, I mean not really.
Then we decided to play hide and seek. That's all that happened.
Okay.
That's it.
I don't know if he had a heart attack or what in there. Like, I don't know what happened.
So how long were you doing CPR?
2 grown adults consuming a bottle of wine.
And this shows his naivety. He doesn't know how
From my
bad it is.
bartending experience, I can tell you that a bottle of wine split between 2 adults
Should be
is
nothing.
2 glasses each.
But who says they had
Provided
2
they were
glasses?
chewing fairly.
Lying drunks say
Unless
they
it
had
was a
2.
Magnum, and
Magnum
would hold significantly more. But
good call.
if it's an average bottle of wine, and
It's not average. Sarah does
it was
everything
consumed throughout the evening
extraordinarily.
by 2 full-grown adults with no medical issues. I find it difficult to think that their judgment would have been
Oh, the tailbone does not like this seat.
would have been that impaired.
I do it for you.
Now, some people can start to feel silly after a couple of drinks, but
Just being
right
silly.
there,
Being
that's
silly.
something that kind of stands out. So that's going to be the second thing I'm going to say.
This lighting gives me a nice half and half
stands out to
face
me,
too. Eh?
is that amount of alcohol
Dark side.
leading to
The light
this with
side.
no medical conditions, no other medication, no other substances being introduced.
Try that all morning.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I called him while I was
What
doing
time
CPR.
did you start? Probably, you know, what ballpark? Here, let me fill this deputy in, okay?
Please may I have my Dr. Pepper? I am
Hold
so
on,
cotton
one
mouth right
second.
now.
I'm so cottonmouth.
Ma'am, and you can't talk to him until we get done with this, okay?
Just don't leave, okay, Brian?
Thank you, ma'am.
Just don't leave.
Thank you.
Oops.
I know.
Do me a favor. Stand over there by that car. Give me 1 second.
Sorry.
Just give us a second, okay?
Fucking landscapers, they don't stop for nothing, eh?
It's on the counter.
This deputy's awareness of the crime scene and her instructions.
And good for him to keep calling it out every time she does it right.
She's totally in fact-finding mode right now. But above and beyond that,
Above and beyond.
above and beyond all that, she
Above
just
and
has
beyond.
this awareness of what's going on at the crime scene. She knows where everybody is. She knows who can
You can't talk to
who,
him.
I mean,
You
it's just-
separate.
man, that's awesome.
Here, I want you to sit down because I don't want you passing out. This is probably a lot for you to deal with, right?
I love her eyes on that. Hold on, we're going back.
Okay? Just, I want you not on your feet because I don't want you passing out on me.
As soon as Kayla says, I know this is a lot for you, Sarah gives the look and you can just see her mind like, you think this is a lot? You have no idea. But she also knows, suppress it. And you can see it just trying to come out in her eyes. Okay, maybe. We'll go from 44. Let me get zoomed in and maybe even a touch more volume. Okay, and go.
I don't want you passing out. This is probably a lot for you to deal
I
with,
need
right?
water.
I can get you some water, okay? Just, I want you not on your feet because I don't want you passing out on me.
I need
I need you please to find me water.
That's awesome.
Here, I want you to sit down because I don't want you passing out. This is probably a lot for you to deal with, right? Sit. I don't want water. I can get you some water, okay? Just, I want you not on your feet.
Excuse me.
Passing out on me.
I need please find me water.
He's trying to try to put you on it.
See, that was a good catch right there. she went inside. I think she was going inside, but then
Tried
she
to.
thought, it's a crime scene. You can't take anything out of there.
Exactly.
That Dr. Pepper, it could be laced with something. Leonard Lake.
This is some
who
good
was
background.
A serial killer with his partner Charles Ng.
NG, Charles Ng.
Was arrested, and while he was being interrogated, he took a cyanide pill that he had clipped it to the inside collar of his shirt and took that and ended up in a coma. 3 days later, he died to avoid questioning. So you never want to give a potential suspect or a potential witness or a potential victim anything that could disrupt evidence. And for obvious reasons, if y'all have been following the channel for any length of time at all, you can probably put the pieces together there. But
ow, excuse me.
This is good. I'm liking this.
And this is where, good pause here too. This is where I think he's starting to feel comfortable. He's like, okay, I do have something to say. And, you know, obviously he does, because he's paused the video and talked for way more than the video's played. But you can see him gaining his confidence while doing this, and it kind of shows the ups and downs of being a YouTube creator, because there is probably a little piece of him that saw, like, this is going to go well. And then when the other videos don't go well after, and you're questioning yourself, like, what did I do then that I'm not doing now? But in any case, this is a kind of cool part of the video, because he's coming into form now.
Okay, so you don't live here in this house?
No. I live down in Lake Winata Cove down there.
Lake Winata Cove, okay.
Yeah.
So kind of tell me how you came here today, or...
Well, I've been calling...
Come down here so we got to talk.
I've been calling...
Out of earshot.
You've been calling your ex-wife or current wife?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Ex-wife.
Okay.
No.
A year and a half. About 11:30.
Okay, so she's been seeing this other guy for 3.5 years. She and her husband have just been divorced for a year and a half.
Put the pieces together, do the math.
Now, maybe that doesn't take into account separations and things like that, but you know, one of those things that kind of makes my ears perk up.
More and more pieces of that 1,000-piece puzzle are coming together, eh?
Okay.
Generally not very good about always doing it.
They called back and said she was still there, or she came back to the post office.
Fucking landscapers.
Okay. So the ex-husband has just said that the wife has issues with drinking, and it's caused some problems with custodial duties regarding a child. And so apparently he started calling at 11:30. So that kind of gives us an insight into character, personality, and prioritization of Sarah, but as far as how she deals with her day-to-day life, day-to-day responsibilities. So based on this,
Great comments in the chat. Thank you.
I'm starting to think that there's a really good chance that there was more alcohol than a single bottle of wine.
Cool.
So again, this is before the trial, so that info did not come out. He just sussed that out from the first 15 minutes of footage. Willing to give her the benefit of the doubt. If it's 2 people to a bottle of wine, probably not too much. You know what? Now that I'm listening, she's probably drank a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started calling like 11:30, called every half hour or so, and then finally got a hold of her at 12:49, which is when she told me what was going on and if I'd come over here, so I came over.
She called at 12:45.
Yeah,
Okay.
or 12:49.
12:49.
Got over here, told her she needed to call 911, get somebody over here. And then basically she said she needed to go outside, have a drink and a cigarette.
Okay. So
Okay.
a lot of really good information gathered there. So that kind of fixes our timeline issue. And it's not necessarily so flagrant that there's anything weird or odd. He said he was having a hard time getting a hold of her. She said she didn't get up till like 12:30. 12:49, she calls him. He comes over. He just lives down the block, has her call 911, and we're looking at. Oh, okay. I thought we could see the time on this, but it doesn't. It doesn't look like the time's calibrated properly, but that's okay.
It's okay.
So a lot of good information there, but he also said that she's already had a cigarette and something to drink. So
In between
I'm curious
CPR and the call.
where that drink went to, or maybe that's the drink that she put on the counter when she went inside with presumably the paramedics and fire. That'd probably explain a lot.
Good to be curious.
Who called? Did you call or did she call?
Well, I called. She called me back when I was on my way to make sure I was coming over. But I called her.
I just need water really bad from the background.
But I called her initially.
Do you have water in your car by any chance?
I don't.
Even though this doesn't work, brilliant little move by Kayla Rodriguez, because if he has water in the car, that's not connected to the crime scene. Satisfies the bleeding goat in the background.
Nothing?
No,
Okay.
No, I don't.
Okay, so she called to get over here.
As a general rule, I always had an extra bottle of water
Super cop.
in my car.
Always thinking.
Now, sometimes that bottle was frozen solid, and sometimes, you could cook ramen with it. But there was water in my car. And
Which is weird, Dorgan, who points out that she can't be alone at all because she also says, she could spend all day in there without a peep.
that's not a dig. This deputy is just doing a phenomenal job. It's very impressive. It's cool from a supervisory standpoint to watch an officer with this much experience and this much confidence in handling a complicated crime scene.
I don't think enough credit gets given to that because this could
but
have
that's
gone.
just a
Think of all the different ways that this could have been thrown out if they made mistakes at these initial phases of the crime scene. So, because nothing went wrong, it's not a big part of the story. But if something did, like think of the Karen Reed case and the way that they played with evidence and stuff at the beginning, more props to Kayla Rodriguez again. Well done. Officer Kayla Rodriguez.
personal, what have you. And if any police officers are watching or any first responder, always keep a couple extra bottles of water in your vehicle.
I called her first.
Okay.
Trying to find out if she's going to get Lucas. That's when she told me everything was going on. I got my stuff together, put the puppy up in his crate. When I was starting to drive over here is when she called me to make sure I was coming, and then I got over here right after
Did you
that.
go inside and see and then?
I walked inside the front. I didn't see the little.
Does that seem like a lot of detail provided by the ex-husband to anybody else? Like, I understand talking about what you did with a child who's presumably not old enough to take care of themselves, but you take the time to mention putting the puppy away. Now, obviously, to explain that, I want to talk to the ex-husband and just find out if he's normally that detail oriented. Because if he's not, the inclusion of
Good call, Val.
detail in a
Just ask Brian. He'll tell you.
in a witness statement.
What the fuck are
can
you
be an
telling him,
indication
Brian?
of deception. Now, like I said, this is a completely philosophical exercise. Obviously, we're not using this to testify in court or anything like that, but it is something that if we were doing in reality, we obviously want to take it a couple steps further.
Come on, step this way.
I thought legs.
Let's take a couple steps this way, away from Sarah trying to smooth in.
So I told her.
Well, just for the sake of the crime scene, I want to know if I were to find your footprint, it would be because you went this far into the house. So did you actually make into the threshold?
I don't think I ever made it to the carpet. I think it was just in that.
He's so happy, the
Right.
commenter.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think I stepped past that.
He loves that question.
That's awesome. Explain, if I find your footprint, why am I going to find it? Where am I going to find it? Explain it to me. And of course, he's saying that he's been over there before, which, yeah, I mean, every household, we have common visitors that come over, people that it's not unusual to see them at a home. So it's easy to explain evidence of their presence.
Okay.
And that's what I really like about this guy's coverage of L73. Like, you know, we generally accept that Brian is more of a victim than anything else, but I like that he just doesn't automatically, you know, okay, well, he's the good guy, so I'm not going to question his motives. He's really approaching this from a forensic, you know, unbiased angle. So that's one of the things I really liked when I was watching this video the first 12 to 15 times.
So,
I touched doorknob. I don't think I touched anything with ditches. I felt really bad.
okay, so that's pretty much the gist of what you have. Well, sit tight for us. We're going to make a few phone calls and then we'll go.
Okay. So I'm starting to think that he's just kind of a detail-oriented person.
Could be.
But I'm a little something's not sitting right, and I haven't been able to
not sitting right.
to rectify it just yet. But he's able to remember putting the puppy up, but he can't remember if he made it to the carpet area, if he touched the door handle, anything like that. So I'm starting to kind of waver on him.
Just medical issues or.
I don't.
Okay, but you've met him before.
I've met him before. Yes. Okay. Yes. They've got a full fun history.
A full fun history.
Oh, you guys could call me
for the two of them.
Yeah, he's been arrested like 5 times.
Brian doesn't mind telling him this.
Really? Okay, I'm not familiar with. I haven't been here personally. So they have
he's currently on parole because of it. So.
Because of domestic violence with her.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes. Last night he got retrial something or other.
Domestic violence. Officers hate domestic violence calls. There's
rotating this
no
to make it
happy
easier to pick up.
It tears families apart. The officers are never the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 times out of 10, the individual coming to post bond is the victim themselves.
Like Sarah, I kept bailing him out. I'm still trying to help him.
That's
why I'm here now.
Unfortunately, not an uncommon situation. I did a little digging into this and found out that both Sarah Boone and the victim had both had arrest for domestic violence.
Now we know more about that, but you know, give the guy credit. He's just trying to bone up on the case in the first couple hours before watching this.
Interesting. I'm starting to pay closer attention to his body language. There's a couple of things he's done that are kind of throwing up some red flags for me, and I'm trying to decide whether that's just his nervousness of the situation or if there's something else that needs to be watched.
I think speaks to how fair this guy is in his analysis.
Stuff like that. But I mean, every time she had him arrested, the next day she was trying to get bailed out too. So I don't know what it is.
Oh, she's getting one from the task.
Oh, the spigot time.
Okay, well, listen, please do me.
Well,
I'll make
not a problem. I mean,
when's your kid need to be picked up?
Lakeline Elementary.
How soon, though?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
I
Okay.
don't leave until out.
Let me try and get this going for you because I know you need that.
Windy day in Winter Park.
Martinez.
So this part here, there's no sound probably because of like audio chatter, like police chatter that's confidential or got edited out.
So when body camera footage gets sent out, mass distributed, they will tend to block out what can be seen on a computer screen for a police officer.
Thank you.
That's privileged law enforcement only information. And
don't need my analysis when he's going to take care of it.
And so if there's something sensitive, the video will be edited by the department.
Hey, Joshua, you're back. Welcome back.
George Torres.
His birthday?
2/13/78.
And this is the boyfriend?
Yes.
How long?
3.5 years.
Living together that whole time?
Yes.
Okay. And your last name?
Boone.
Spell it.
Boone.
First name? Sarah?
SARAH.
Don't ask her birthday, please.
10/10/77.
Fuck.
So, you've had a second to kind of collect yourself. Tell it to me.
10/10/77.
You guys were playing last night, drinking a bottle of wine,
Putting puzzles together, doing
doing
artwork.
puzzles, artwork.
I had a bottle of wine and they decided to play hide and seek.
Mhm.
So he
What
gets,
time was that? Do you remember?
I mean, I know that I was in bed probably by like what, 12:30?
Okay.
Well, I went upstairs at least and I fell asleep.
Okay.
Forgetting that he was
So
in
you
the
guys were
suitcase.
playing the hide and go seek.
Yes.
And at some point you put him in the suitcase?
No, he got in the suitcase. So
Okay.
he thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. So I was
He
like,
thought
okay,
it would be
well,
funny.
I'm going to joke with you and I'll zip you up and make him, squirm a little bit, whatever it is. But then I fell asleep.
Okay, we're going to rewind all of
I fell
that.
asleep.
Where was the suitcase?
Right
Who
where
got
it
in
is.
it?
Because there's all
Yes.
kinds of admissions in that. No. What happened? Oh, no. Okay, no, we'll get back. We'll get back. It's not that bad. I don't think it's that bad. I think we'll be able to find it. But yeah, she makes all kinds of admissions right there. Just let him squirm a little bit. How far into it are we? No, that's Chelsea showing up. So we're before that. We're about halfway through this stream. That's good to know. Okay, that's the part right there, I think.
She fell asleep, one thing or another. This would be a really good time to bring up some kind of intoxication defense.
Right, but she's not going to do that because she wasn't drunk. She can't drink. Look at all those cigarette butts. No, that's got to be leaves. Looks like cigarette butts on the ground behind.
Voila.
I'll make a
Not a
phone
problem.
call.
I mean,
When's your kid need to be picked up?
Lakeline Elementary.
How
Okay,
soon though?
I think
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
I think we're back.
Let me try and get you going for you.
Getting too confident in my ability to pause and. Okay, yeah, Windy Winter Park. I remember that part. We're not that far behind. He thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. Lie. But somebody was put in and somebody thought it was funny. And what was the other part? Okay, this is the part about where there's. Okay, do that more carefully.
And so if there's something sensitive, the video will be edited
We're
by
back.
the department.
We're live, baby.
JORGE. JORGE.
George Torres.
His birthday?
2/13/78.
And this is the boyfriend?
Yes.
How long?
3.5 years.
Living together that whole time?
Yes.
Okay. And your last name?
Boone.
Spell it.
BOONE.
First name?
Sarah. SARAH.
Birth date.
10/10/77.
So, you've had a second to kind of collect yourself. Tell it to me again. You guys were playing last night, drinking a bottle of wine,
Here we
Putting
go.
puzzles together, doing
doing
artwork.
puzzles, artwork.
I had a
Lie to
bottle
us,
of
Sarah.
wine, and they decided to play hide and seek.
Mhm.
So he
What
gets,
time was that? Do you remember?
I mean, I know that I was in bed probably by like what, 12:30?
Okay.
Well, I went upstairs at least, and I fell asleep.
Okay.
Forgetting that he was
So
in
you
the
guys were
suitcase.
playing the hide and go seek.
Yes.
And at some point you put him in the suitcase?
No, he got in the suitcase. So he thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to joke with you and I'll zip you up and make him, squirm a little bit, whatever it is. But then I fell asleep. I fell asleep.
Where was the suitcase?
Right
Who
where
got
it
in
is.
it? Right down there?
Yes.
You zipped him in there?
Yes.
Thought he would be funny, a little
It
joke.
was.
Ooh.
Okay. So we're playing hide and seek.
Yes.
You hadn't.
Are you kidding me? Okay, I know. Oh my gosh. I got to be careful. I'm using an Xbox controller as my controller, which, if you guys followed that submarine that imploded underwater, they used a video game controller to control things. So, shows you how how precise they can be. That was it, I think.
Okay, well, I'm gonna joke with you, and I'll zip you up and make him,
Squirm a little.
whatever it is. But then I fell asleep.
Where was the suitcase?
Right
You
where
got
it
in
is.
it, right down there.
Yes.
You zipped him in there.
Yes.
You zipped him in.
Be funny a little
It was.
Okay. So we're playing hide and seek.
Process
You
it,
hide
man.
in the suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks it's funny to hide in there. You think it's funny to zip him up.
We both thought it was funny.
And then you forget that he's in there.
Stickman, welcome to the chat.
Off presumably 2 glasses of wine. You go upstairs. Now I can see maybe she went upstairs and she fell asleep, one thing or another. This would be a really good time to bring up some kind of intoxication defense.
A to B.
Where that would account for the lack of judgment, the lack of, or the amount of time that she was asleep, one thing or another. So we're starting to see that there's a lot of inconsistencies that are just going to be too hard to move beyond.
So good for him for picking all that up. Again, it's kind of shows his unique take on the video and, his stops. I think they're illuminating. I think they're making us all smarter right now. We're all straight A students because of this.
Upstairs.
In your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Totally forgetting that he was in the suitcase still.
Okay.
Totally forgetting.
And then you came back downstairs.
This morning, or this
Around
afternoon, yes, when I got up.
ballpark, what time?
12:30-ish. I was awake, but I totally forgot that he was in the suitcase.
Totally forgot.
There's a lot of things that we think go into jobs.
Yeah, he did tell me.
Like all that good stuff. So I just totally
So
forgot.
you began to do CPR on him?
Yes. Yes.
About
And he
what time
gurgled.
this morning
Like
did you
he
start doing that CPR?
No, it was the afternoon. It was afternoon.
Yeah.
Afternoon.
I was awake, but then I finally decided to come downstairs at like 12:30-ish, whatever it is. And I was like, I forgot he was in the suitcase, and he wasn't moving. Nothing was happening. So I unzipped him, took him out, and started doing CPR on him. He was on his way over here. I called you when he got here.
Once he got here, you called us?
Yes.
Okay.
And air was coming out, and he was gurgling, but I could just tell by looking at him.
But you
Air was coming out.
Okay. So I'm starting to see that there's...
Starting to see. He's picking it up.
Like I said, don't take this as gospel, because this is very much outside looking in.
I bet this is gospel coming up.
Ideally, I would have had a sit-down interview with Sarah Boone either before or after seeing this to determine what her baseline in speech is. But the really high-pitched
we might
voice
even
that she gets.
Go back on that carefully. She does a total do re mi fa so to la do, like it's incredible how don't hit that button. Okay, we'll go back, but yeah, her voice, it's almost like a xylophone.
Job.
Yeah, he did tell me.
Like all that good stuff. So I just totally
So
forgot.
you began to do CPR on him?
Yes. Yes.
About
And he
what time
gurgled.
this morning
He
did you
gurgled.
start doing that CPR?
No, it was the afternoon. It was afternoon because I was awake, but then I finally decided to come downstairs at like 12:30-ish, whatever it is, and I was like, I forgot he was in the suitcase, and he wasn't moving. Nothing was happening, so I unzipped him. He was on his way over here. I called you when he got here.
Once he got here, you called us?
Yes.
Okay.
And air was coming out, and he was gurgling, but I could tell by looking at him.
But you
Okay.
So we'll go back to where we were.
Is what would be baseline for her. But
yeah, I wonder what the sing-songy means. Like, it's interesting to pick it up, but be even more interesting if you could tell what it meant when she was doing it.
And the hand over the mouth,
well, that's
is a modifier.
Yeah.
It's a self-quieting gesture. like, oops, I've said too much.
If I play poker, you see guys doing that, and that's as much of a
But,
tell
like I said,
as anything their face is going to do.
this is a philosophical exercise. This is not carved in granite the way it's always done. You need more information.
Exactly.
So
this in itself doesn't tell you they're lying.
Like this and, you know,
but it's something to look for. Like, oh, that's interesting. What are they trying to cover?
It says with 100% certainty that this is what's going on.
Hungover, drunk, maybe even on her
for somebody
hair of the dog. Who knows what was in that Dr. Pepper, like the rest of the bottle of wine?
Just looking at what we have going on here, I'm already starting to form some questions that I want.
Yeah, it's a good point, though, Stick Mouth.
Although
I don't think she'd care. I think she would.
This is the second time in this video so far that she's done that real high pitched thing and come down.
That's what the neighbors said, anyway.
But I haven't seen tears. I haven't seen shaking.
Exactly.
I haven't seen anything.
Not a single tear.
With that high pitch.
Like, it's one thing to be hysterical, but you'd lose control of your tear ducts and your emotions.
Yes. And then the person that was on the phone with me also, I counted with him.
Readjust.
I don't know. Like,
I don't know.
I know he doesn't take any
Okay,
medications
so there's some of that twitching.
The only thing, like I said, I don't know if alcohol had to do with it, but we had a bottle of wine.
So there's that.
A bottle of wine.
I don't know. Like I said, that's why it's important when you're talking about people's body language. You've got to have a baseline, because I started to see some of that trembling in her hand, but she's also holding something in her other hand.
This is what she was practicing instead of CPR.
Like that, it kind of gives me pause. It makes me want to go beyond what I'm saying.
Here, I want you to sit back down because I don't want you to have one more sip of water. Yes, go on.
Here we go, spigot time. Get in there, Sarah.
I'll do what I can to get you a cup because I don't want you to have to keep doing that.
Maintenance didn't have a proper cancel notification to the front door. Right to that first motor unit on the channel.
The cups are like right there.
And even performing, like, you know, it's harder to drink from the faucet.
It's on the back porch.
Nope, all of it.
Nope.
Here, okay? I'll try my best.
Well done, Kayla Rodriguez.
One of these deputies has a pack from someone, you know, sit down and I'll try and get you what you need, okay?
Just a cup, please.
Okay.
Just a cup.
I don't want you on your feet.
Even the cop is laughing. Love it. Is he drinking a Dr. Pepper too? He's enjoying something.
It's still Boone, okay. And then your first name?
Brian, B-R-I-A-N.
B-R-I-A-N. And your date of birth?
5/27/75.
And your child is in school right now. He's not here with
I
you.
do feel like the ex has had kind of a lot of freedom to walk around instead of just being placed at one location.
You got some water, good, okay.
So somebody found her an empty bottle and she was able to
Not right now. We can't
fill
have you
that
go
up at the
get
spigot.
anything. Why don't you sit in the shade?
So it's not uncommon for somebody in a traumatic situation to want something that's naturally comforting to them. Obviously, if you have somebody who's a smoker, this is going to be an anxiety-provoking incident. Yeah, they're going to want a cigarette, but that's not. Some people might attach a whole lot of significance to that. I would only attach significance to it if it was somebody who was not known to smoke. Remember, you're looking for changes in behavior.
We can't let you guys communicate right now.
Just ask him.
To get a cigarette from him.
It's going to be really interesting.
So now Kayla has to ask Brian for a cigarette for Sarah, which he gives her.
Thank you.
No problem.
I was going to have him arrange childcare.
Okay, good. So the child is school.
This is smart. They're having a little conversation during the time that Sarah's giving him away.
No, sir, it's not. I need to get her on there too, and him. So they're en route already, probably?
Did anybody call?
No.
Little communication issue, not really a problem. It happens.
All right, let me get homicide.
It's even as calm as this deputy is, it's easy to get overwhelmed by what happens. And that's why communicating on scene is very important. But from the beginning, she's made sure to document who all's there and getting all the pertinent information. And obviously this corporal, he's probably the acting supervisor right now. He probably assumed that somebody on scene had already called for a homicide investigator, and she probably assumed that the supervisor was doing it. And, just like anything else, communication is key.
Joe, you're nervous. You have anxiety, you're scared, right?
Well, this is the cop who tries to talk to her. He's like the psychologist cop. You're scared, right?
It's okay. You don't have to.
I don't know how to. I'm just waiting for whoever, so.
I can tell you this. I'm going to be here just as long as you are. Including my...
So it looks like we got another
I'm welcoming this priest right now.
another officer.
All right, so just bear with us.
He's the de-escalation officer. She works on
Let me
updates.
look at my computer, see.
If you can give me any updates, that's how I work. Except Sarah doesn't work. But that's how she works.
I like how somebody's always outside monitoring what's going on.
We already got a detective
There's
on
this.
his way.
There's always
He's
this.
on the screen.
Yeah, Sarah needs a
There's always
guardian.
this
Guardian ad litem.
need that people, everybody on scene feels like they need to be inside. And while it's easy to understand the thinking behind it, there's a lot of important stuff going on right now. One of the things that I haven't seen,
The cigarette is still outstanding.
and I'm trying to
Pause it here for a second.
It's obvious.
I think I saw there was a new subscriber that I'd like to say hello to. Mixed Green Alien, welcome to the channel, welcome to the stream, and welcome to the party. No, so Brian was asked for one, or that's what Kayla, Sarah says, can you please ask Brian to get me a cigarette? Okay, I'll go do that. And then she walks off and ends up talking to another officer and is setting up the scene, making sure that the coroner's been called. So she just does, more of her busy work, like the stuff she has to do, but kind of ignored Sarah's request, like backburnered it. So I think she's going to ask Sarah or ask Brian eventually, but yeah, it's a little Easter egg. Watch to see if she gets a cigarette. I can't remember whether she does or not. She definitely doesn't have the one she just bought. Another one to say says, I hope she gets hemorrhoids from sitting on the pavement. That's why I'm sitting on multiple pillows here on the ground. All right, well, we're going to pin Mixed Green Alien to the top of the chat and continue on. Just so you know what we're doing here, Mixed Green Alien, I cover Sarah Boone. This is a live stream of me covering another channel that covered Sarah Boone a year ago and stopped. And I think that this is some really fascinating info. It's a different way of looking at it. It's a lot of stuff we've seen before, but he takes a different view on it and isn't totally influenced by everything else he's seen. He's kind of coming into this as though he was a police officer hired by the prosecution to look at the evidence and help them gear their case towards the strongest point. So we've got about maybe an hour left if we at this rate. So welcome and stick around.
It's a weekday, kids in school, so maybe everybody else is at work, but there's not a whole lot of people out looking around trying to see what's going on. Why are the police here? Which with an emergency response this size, I find a little odd, but maybe not for the time of day. And of course, different neighborhoods and stuff like that probably look at that differently. But if there's nobody outside.
And yeah, you're right, Cray for Kraynek. He got into law school, and the last post, so it's not a video or anything, but on his community tab, he posted something about graduating, like scoring one of the higher scores possible on the test, and thanking people for support, but hasn't done anything since too. So I'm hoping by shouting him out, maybe he'll come back and maybe do like a live stream combined where I'm using my new computer and the streaming software, and we can have a little talking heads in the corner and review what he thinks of his footage, a year removed from it, and with probably a lot more expertise in the law in addition to his law enforcement info. So that's the goal. If nothing else, we'll just bring a little bit more visibility to some of these underviewed videos of his, and just have fun doing it, enjoying each other's company.
How are you going to know if there's anyone else that you need to be speaking to, anyone else who's a potential witness, more importantly, anybody else who's a potential suspect? So always have somebody on the outside and be ready to identify anybody who tries to figure out what's going on. Look for those people who try to interject themselves into a crime scene.
LZB pinned it. It is in the description as well. This guy is called Cowboy Criminologist. He hasn't put out a video in over a year. It seemed like he had a 1 year, experiment with YouTube, and he had some successes, but his last videos were, 20 and 30 views. So I think that he just flew under the radar, and for whatever reason, when his Sarah Boone content ended because the trial ended, those fans that he had went somewhere else, and he's obviously busy with law school too, which he credit to him for scoring one of the highest scores available or possible. But in any case, Cowboy Criminologist, look him up, subscribe, watch all the videos. We'll be watching them slowly over the next I probably will do like one of these a month, maybe 2 a month, but he's got 5 of them, all about an hour and a half long, so that's probably about 3 hours of my time, and that's what the plan is. And that said, A to B, if it's not in the description now, which it should be, it definitely will be at the end of the live stream.
So far right now, aside from being the person who found George Ben Sarah Boone, had tried to do CPR, aside from all that, there's really nothing there.
So, quick update on Laura Reese too, nothing. As Dorgan brings up. She did post something on her community tab just recently, but kind of acknowledging that she's still staying away from YouTube for her personal reasons to do with politics, and I respect them 100%. As a Canadian, I get where she's coming from. At the same time, I've got to do my own thing, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm hoping that because Lori put out a message, it's possible she's just keeping her toe in the water, keeping her channel alive for when the political climate changes. So I also hope that we get more content from her. If you see, there's a short I did to an old song by a band called the Box Tops, The Letter. She's included in my montage of creators that I was watching in my days of Sarah Boone fandom before creatordom. So, good shout out to Lori Reese. Oh, that's not the video to press play on.
Nothing about this is setting off a whole lot of red flags other than her story. It doesn't make sense. There are certainly more plausible reasons for how this happened.
It doesn't make sense is such a perfect way to apply everything that Sarah says.
What I like about it is that the deputy we've been watching, Sarah Boone has told the same story without fail like 3 times already.
Without fail. That's kind of funny that he says that, because obviously she fails in telling the story. But the point he's making here, hey, Margie 420's in the house, welcome. the point he's making here is that because she's had to retell this story to Kayla a second time, like just confirming, did I get it right? She's getting locked into these details, and it's going to be much harder for her to come up with something at the interrogation. And you see it happen where she says something, but you told us you weren't drunk. Yeah, that's the way to say it. Yeah, you told us you weren't drinking, that you can't get drunk.
The nice thing about that is when over a certain time, we're 23 minutes, 40 seconds into the video right now, is when you can get somebody over a period of time to commit to the same story, it makes it easier to find any provable lie. The problem with that is once you've locked yourself into that statement, like Sarah Boone has already, it's very difficult to go back and fill in those holes, because if she did it, if she killed George Torres, which is exactly what she's being tried for, if she did it, it's very difficult to go back and have those gaps in logic, reasoning, timeline, whatever, explained to you, and then on the fly try to fill them in. So far, procedurally and everything, I'm liking what I'm seeing. These guys are good.
Chelsea and Scott, come on the scene.
These guys are good. And y'all know me. I'll call out bad police work really, really quick.
Well, here comes
Oh, wow.
Chelsea and Scott.
A lot of detectives there now. Clock's not set to the right time, or something that always messed with me. And I kind of get that, but I would like to see...
All right, sir. My name's Chelsea. My partner, Scott.
I would like to see detectives wearing body cameras. And if you look at the way they're standing, this is a very typical triangle. So you have the deputy on one side, you have a detective just across from the deputy, and then you've got the main investigator right here. I'm always curious about different angles of the same event, because I always want to see what those are going to show.
It's my understanding you reside here? Okay. Is it just you,
Try and get them both in, his reaction and the full cam.
Your former husband, okay. But you reside here with George, and then your son lives with you, or there's 50-50?
It's not a 50-50. 10-90.
Ooh, that's not a bad look. Or that is a bad look. Yeah, know who.
She explained.
Don't ever come on scene and not know who you're talking to. That's...
First strike, negative
that is
earn,
not a bad
Chelsea.
Look. So we know Deputy Rodriguez. She's on her game. So good on you, Deputy Rodriguez.
Well, we were playing hide and seek, and then
Was your son home at the time, or okay?
no.
Because it would make sense to be playing hide and seek with a child.
Decided to play just stupid like that. Like, sure, we were putting puzzles together, and we were doing artwork, and seeing the puzzle that we finished in there, and then the artwork, and then.
So there was a puzzle, because she's telling them they can go look at it now. But it never shows up on the body cam.
And he was laughing about it too.
Oh, of course he was, yeah.
To dip him up in there. I go upstairs and fell asleep. So this morning when this afternoon when I actually got up out of the bed.
This morning, which was an actual morning because it was afternoon.
I thought it would be funny, and he was laughing about it too. She hasn't gotten to the funny part yet.
Exactly.
So pay attention to those gaps in grammars,
where she skips over the part that's,
and the gaps in speech.
She doesn't want to say the bad part.
That can be very telling as to whether somebody is telling you something the way they've rehearsed it or the way it actually happened. Now, like I said, there's not enough there to go off of and say one.
Okay. Hi, Kat. We'll give you a proper introduction while I'm resetting the video. Hi. How are you? Good to see you. I'm sure the chat's happy to see you. Hello. We'll get you up on screen, don't worry. We'll get you up. Okay, so we're around here. Yeah, okay. Oh, it's right after Chelsea and them hit the scene, right? Sorry if you have a cigarette, smoke them if you got them. Sure, we'll figure out these technical details in a moment. Hi, Kat. Don't worry, I've got a snack for you too. Yeah, I'm multitasking.
I would like to see
Okay, there's
detectives wearing
hello, Kat.
body cameras. And if you look at the way they're standing, this is a very typical triangle. So you have the deputy on one side, you have a detective just across from the deputy, and then you've got the main investigator right here. I'm always curious about different angles of the same event because I always want to see what those are going to show.
Here you are. Right here.
You reside here?
What?
Okay. Is it just you? Okay.
It's not a 50-50.
Okay. But you reside here with George, and then your son lives with you, or there's 50-50? Yeah. Okay.
Not a 50-50.
So, from what...
Ooh, that's not a bad look.
Okay,
we saw this. That is a bad look. Yeah, know who...
She explained...
Don't ever come on scene and not know who you're talking to. That's...
So he likes Kayla so much he doesn't like that Chelsea didn't take the time to find out who she was.
She's on her game. So good on you, Deputy Rodriguez.
Well, we were playing hide and seek, and then
was your son home at the time, or okay?
No, with Brian.
Okay.
Decided to play just stupid like that. Like, sure, we were putting puzzles together. We were doing artwork, and seeing the puzzle that we finished in there, and then the artwork, and then decided to play hide and seek. This game's stupid.
Okay.
So he decided to get in the suitcase. So I thought it would be funny to, and he was laughing about it too, to dip him up in there. I go upstairs and fell asleep. So this morning or this afternoon when I actually got up out of the bed, I thought for sure he was downstairs on the laptop.
Changes it.
I thought it would be funny, and he was laughing about it too. She hasn't gotten to the funny part yet.
I turned it up a little because the body cam seems quieter at that point.
Pay attention to those gaps in grammars, the gaps in grammar and the gaps in speech.
Suma, welcome.
That can be.
This is the Sarah Boone one this time.
As to whether somebody is telling you something.
Take a quick pause to catch Suma up. If anybody needs to go to the bathroom or take a break and is fully versed, now's the time to do it as I give a quick recap. So what we're watching is Cowboy Criminologist. His channel is in the description. It's a channel that stopped making videos about a year ago. This video we're watching was made in September of 2024 when we were all super into the trial, pre-trial motions, pro se Sarah. There were a lot to distract our attention, and this guy flew under the radar. As of this stream starting, he had 570 subscribers. Now it's a few more thanks to the Dan D bump. But what we're doing is going through, there's 5 of his videos, maybe it's only 4, at least 4, maybe 5. They're really good. He's coming from a law enforcement background. He's a Texas guy, talks a little slower, but he's super reasoned and considerate. And so what you've missed so far is him giving tons of props to Kayla Rodriguez for how well she handled the scene initially. And it made me realize, the lack of problems with the way that she handled the scene contributed to the lack of problems with the way evidence ended up being admitted in Sarah's case. And a great example is look at the Karen Reed case where the evidence was all messed with from all over the place. And could you imagine if that was the evidence trail that Sarah Boone got to play with? So all of that said, we've been watching it for about an hour. Part of the reason I'm really attracted to reviewing this guy's channel is I see a lot of parallels between him and I as new creators. His channel stopped at just under well under 1,000, but over 500 subscribers. He had the watch time for monetization, but his last few videos kind of died out, and we need to bump Suma. How do I get Suma into the... Let's make sure. Oh, another quick thing. If you aren't on all messages, make sure you are, because often Suma gets just cut from the chat just because her name happens to have the Latin word for with in between Suma and loudmouth. So if you want to see Suma's chat and everyone else's, make sure you're on all. We're going to continue watching this tonight. We've still got about 45 minutes of it with pauses and commentary from me. And then we'll watch the other ones later in the next couple of months. So that's a catch up. Hopefully you're all back from the bathroom if you left. And let's return to the vid. Hopefully I won't pause it. But Cowboy Criminologist is his name. It's linked in the description. And if anyone wants to look up the channel name, post it in chat, please do.
Thing, the way they've rehearsed it or the way it actually happened. Now, like I said, there's not enough there to go off of and say one way or the other. What I am working towards right now is knowledge that at the minimum, we probably have a criminally negligent homicide. I would say that a crime has been committed at this point. I don't know that I'm ready to jump to murder yet.
And no, this is not a Timu Suma. This is the real deal. 100% mixed screen alien, real deal Suma. And that's why she's got the mod. Before I started my channel, only Suma and Danielle Siobhan were mods, and it was because I was setting up the channel on desktop. I didn't have any subscribers, so I put them both in so that if they ever joined my channel, they'd instantly see that they were wrenched up. And yeah, so you can trust this is the real Suma. This is not a Timu Suma. Let's get back to the action. Where is he? Oh, the beeps are loud, eh? Okay, sorry.
I don't know what happened.
Don't know what happened. Okay. Like, what happened?
You weren't sure about if you woke up this morning.
It was afternoon. I mean, I was awake,
this afternoon,
but I just didn't want to come downstairs. So I just laid in the bed for a little while, and then I eventually came downstairs and was confused about where he was, and then I was like, oh my God, he's in the suitcase still.
Oh my God.
And I stretched him out, and I started to try to do CPR on him. I called you guys. Well, I called Brian.
Okay.
And then as soon as he got here, which is 30 seconds down the road, I called you guys.
Okay.
And the person on the phone had me do the concussions.
I will tell you this from my crime scene staging class, actually. And in that crime scene staging class, one of the things that we were always taught to look out for.
There's a class for crime scene staging.
Something that has never happened before. And
if you remember Seinfeld, there are no big coincidences and small coincidences. There are only coincidences. These coincidences should be looked at. Thank you, Margie. I figured out how to mod people now, but I do it from the comments when I'm not live streaming, just so, because I'm actually using the one phone here and then the one that I'm logged into chat. I don't think I have. Well, maybe I can. I'll keep that in mind, Margie, if you want to help us out.
That is definitely something that needs to be thought of. Now, alcohol does not always bring out the rocket scientist in a lot of people, and we've all seen it. But I'm still...
Welcome, Margie. You're wrenched.
I'm still kind of...
I got to go back to that line, too. I really like this guy's... He's very dry and wry. Like, he gets out some funny lines, but he's not laughing at himself like me. He just makes the observation and lets it breathe like a fine wine. Not Woodbridge.
And leads to a death. That is definitely something that needs to be thought of. Now, alcohol does not always bring out the rocket scientist in a lot of people, and we've all seen it. But I'm still kind of, I'm starting to put things together a little bit. Because now she's starting to add more details that she hasn't added in the first 3 times that she's told this story.
The more he puts together the puzzle, the less pieces are missing. While I would
expect some details to start being fleshed out. Hey, I just remembered this. Or wait, no, that's not what happened. I did this first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having trouble getting over that. Well, he decided to get in, and he was laughing about it too. That's almost like you have to believe me. You have to believe what happened because, you know, you have to understand that this was funny. This is lighthearted. This is, and she's really harping on that.
Good comments going here.
But she never finished that complete thought with the detectives on scene. And so now things are starting to pick up a little momentum where I'm more comfortable with criminal charges at this point, which would lead me to arrest instead of working up a case, giving it to the prosecuting attorney, and getting a warrant for arrest later if the prosecutor decided to go forward.
Thank you, Suma. It's little duct tape and chewing gum, MacGyver setup, but
investigation, we obviously have to go inside the house.
I don't have to use StreamYard though.
Are you okay with us going in the house and looking at things? Okay.
Okay.
Another thing I forgot to mention is she mentions that he was gurgling before everybody got here. He was gurgling. You have to understand, he was still alive. Basically, had y'all gotten here quicker, you know, this whole thing could have been avoided, one thing or another. So little things like that, those little differences in syntax, in grammar, unnatural pauses in a statement, all of those things start to work together to undermine a person's credibility. And when you're doing an interview on somebody, which is what this is.
Thank you, Carolina.
This is not an interrogation. And
Carolina,
certain people in certain institutions will say, there is a difference between an interrogation and an interview. And if you don't know the difference between those two, you shouldn't use those terms. And if you don't think there's a difference between those two, your college degree was probably forged.
Investigators come out. Are you also okay with them coming inside, taking photos?
Sorry, I stepped all over him there. I'm going to give him 20 more seconds to say that while I was singing Shaggy's "Oh Carolina."
On somebody, which is what this is. This is an interview. This is not an interrogation. And despite what certain people in certain institutions will say, there is a difference between an interrogation and an interview. And if you don't know the difference between those two, you shouldn't use those terms. And if you don't think there's a difference between those two, your college degree was probably forged.
Now, I don't have a college degree in law, but my understanding is every interrogation is an interview, but obviously not every interview is an interrogation. And that's the way that I define the two. Like, the interview is asking questions. It can be a journalism interview. It can be a job interview. There's lots of interview scenarios. If you're being interrogated, it's because you did something wrong. You might be interrogated at your job. It's not to find out whether you're a good guy to promote to middle management. If you're being interrogated, it's not for a good reason.
Are you also okay with them coming inside, taking photographs?
Do whatever you need to do.
Okay.
Can I ask, is Brian, I'm sorry, George, is he diagnosed with any kind of medical history?
None that I know of.
Not that I know of. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't take drugs. I mean, we'll have the occasional bottle of wine here and there, but I don't know. Like,
that was going to be my next question. So you guys don't normally drink? You just drink once in a while? Or?
Carolina brings up a great point, and I'm going to riff off of that. all the times that she asked about her discovery, she never asked about the puzzle. She brought up the puzzle. If she was smart, she would have asked to have the puzzle as part of her discovery, just to have a puzzle to play with while she was in prison.
Okay, I guess normal drinking is like we will have like a glass of wine or two. Like,
Normal drinking.
dinner.
Sure.
You're with somebody for 3.5 years. You've bonded them out in jail. You've bonded them out on domestic violence charges against you multiple times, and you don't know if he has any pre-existing medical conditions, anything that he's taken medication for, anything he's gone to the doctor for.
Another great point.
That seems a little odd.
When you bond somebody out, you're going to get a lot more information. So you wouldn't be, I don't know, nothing I know of. You would be like, yeah, he, has a heart condition, or, he needs to take these pills, or whatever it is. Can't talk while I'm holding this, or it'll just vibrate constantly.
A board game with him and we smoke in there. But I mean, it's not like.
A couple of beers a day.
Well, but I don't understand though, like for the little bit that we had, like not having
The little bit that we had. Heart attack or stroke or
Were you
aneurysm?
guys together all day yesterday? Okay.
Okay, that language right there, that's undermining the amount of alcohol they normally consume.
100%.
But she's also very adamant that there are no drugs involved, and never drugs involved, and that could be due to custody issues. That could be due to a number of them.
Right, family court.
If you're looking at the most simple solution, there's a good chance that drugs just don't factor into the equation because their substance of choice is alcohol.
Perfectly reasonable.
She seems to be downplaying the amount of alcohol that she does drink, and if I'm setting up a defense for this, I'm probably
exactly. Suffocating is no longer part of it.
That I had to account for my complete lapse of judgment.
Exactly. I'd overestimate. I drank 2 handles. I have no idea what happened.
Okay.
But I mean, you can walk there.
Does he have any history of using drugs? I know he doesn't now because you said he doesn't. But
I don't know.
as far as you've ever known him, you've never.
No.
She keeps coming back to those 3 things: heart attack, stroke, aneurysm.
Because those are the things that could have happened without her.
Well, if you combine a human body into a small space where the chest cavity is incapable of fully expanding and retracting to take in a full amount of oxygen, that's not even talking about the proper ventilation for a person to be able to inhale more oxygen into that environment and expel more carbon dioxide out of that environment to sustain life. There's a lot of things there that's not jiving. But positional asphyxia is something that correctional officers,
positional asphyxia. See how quick he picks this up?
Firefighters, paramedics.
This again, remember, this is September 2024. I don't think we heard the term positional asphyxia until the trial when the autopsy report was published, but smart guy. I like this guy.
Medical staff, they're all trained to look out for positional asphyxia. It can happen in a variety of positions. Certainly, a full-grown adult squeezing themselves into a suitcase would fall into that. And I would imagine that there would have been insufficient airflow.
Buttock shift here.
And probably a buildup of carbon dioxide in the suitcase. But she keeps coming back to heart attack, stroke, or aneurysm. Basically, this has to be natural causes. Nobody dies from just sitting in a suitcase.
No. I mean, he's from Philadelphia.
Oh, Philadelphia, say no more.
And then from Massachusetts, he came down here. So I don't really know, like, a whole lot of, like, medical history or
How long have
like
you guys been together?
Almost 4 years, like 3.5 years.
You guys been living here the whole time?
Yes.
He's never been to the doctor or to the hospital during that time?
He and his brother got into a really bad argument at one point, and he had to have facial reconstruction. But he had been in the hospital from that, and then I talked him into going to see like a regular physician so he could get just like a regular like checkup thing.
Yeah.
But there were no red flags.
How long ago was that?
The surgery or
Yeah,
the doctor?
both.
Both.
The surgery I think was at this point what, 2 years maybe, 2.5 years. The checkup was probably a good 2 years too.
Okay.
And the
Facial reconstruction generally involves painkillers. I'm thinking Tylenol 3.
Trying to
at a
bump up
minimum,
the body cam sound
because
because
that is what I can only imagine,
Kayla's standing further away
based
from her
on times I've been hit in the nose
for
or
Chelsea's
punched in the
questions.
eye, that it's very painful. There's a lot of nerves, so yeah, there would probably be some use of some kind of substance to dull the pain.
Is it normally stored down there? Or did you guys travel recently?
No, he was going to start putting some donations in there, so that's why
it's out.
Yes.
Okay.
Landscapers,
You guys didn't travel
airplanes.
somewhere or anything like that?
After you zipped them up, did you move the bag around and mess with them at all, or you just zipped it up and walked away?
And I both were laughing about it, but I went upstairs and I fell asleep.
Okay. But what position was he in when you put him when he went in? Was he sitting on his rear end and his head up? And he just
That's not new. Well, it's new information, but it's a new question. So a question that hasn't been asked before, you'd expect it to elicit new information that hadn't been known before. Which great explanation about why was the suitcase out in the first place. These two detectives seems to be doing really well, kind of complimenting each other with the questions that they're asking. And what I like most is that when one's talking, the other one's writing, and not interrupting or anything like that. So I like to see that. That's just good police work.
Okay, so like this is the suitcase. Right, this was his head and then he's right here and his feet were down.
So he was laying on his side.
Yes. Yes.
You just closed the flap and zipped it around.
Yes.
Okay. So there was a little bit of that high pitched thing. I went upstairs and fell asleep, but it's not as pronounced as it was last time. So there's a couple different possibilities. Like I said, baseline is key when you're talking about neurolinguistics and body language, facial movement, things like that. So that could be an indication.
Yeah, Candace, you'll
feeling
see.
guilty.
He'll get to it a
upstairs
bit
to
in
go
the
to
interrogation videos.
and that's why she gets upset.
But he's doing it in order too. So this is lots of this is new to him on this.
Odd that that's the only place that happens. And like I said, that could be guilt, and it's not really enough to go off of because I don't really have any kind of baseline with her. But it is something that if I was investigating this from the beginning, I would be really curious why that one phrase elicits that particular response.
Quick to respond to the chat too. Ruby Frankie, amazingly quiet when it came time to her interrogation. I have seen a YouTube lawyer that suggested that merely staying quiet isn't the same as asserting your right to be quiet. So her refusal to speak, that could still be used against her if the court believed that she hadn't asserted her right to be silent. So they could basically bring up, well, we tried to ask her about her kids and she just stared at us with her mouth shut for 4.5 hours. So you could use the silence against her. There's nothing wrong with saying I'm asserting my right to be silent. Saying those words isn't going to make it worse. Like so you could just be quiet and maybe write it down. I'm asserting my right to be silent, but basically, you don't need to be as extreme as Ruby. Ruby took it to another level when she was asserting her right to be silent. But yeah, as this YouTube lawyer brought up, it's not asserting your right to be silent just by being silent. You know, if you're nodding and answering questions, but kept your mouth shut, all of that can be used against you if you've had your rights read to you and properly explained. So good to know. We were playing.
Understandable, okay.
So, he said that I needed to tell you guys about his family. Like, who do I talk to about that?
We're gonna do that once we walk through and see. Yeah,
We're not going anywhere. We're going to be
I'm
here
just
for
telling you, like,
Yeah, this is gonna be a
I'm
while.
afraid for my life. I want you to know that. I'm
Okay.
afraid for my life.
So she said she didn't move, she didn't set it up, she didn't do anything like that. And laying in that position provided sufficient.
Danny's here. Hey,
Sufficient
Danielle
ventilation
Siobhan. We
should
still got a
not
little bit of time
have,
left.
And sufficient ventilation being going more towards the question of the construction of the suitcase. But that in and of itself, that position, not being a doctor, I wouldn't expect positional asphyxia to be a big deal, because they're basically saying that, you know, he just kind of laid down on his side.
Thank you, Suma.
Almost like in the fetal position, I'm assuming, from the way they're describing
I'm
it.
guessing this is
And
Cowboy Criminologist channel.
That should be a very natural position, very restful position. So now something else has to be going on.
Have never liked me. I'm the blue-eyed white devil.
The blue-eyed white devil.
So they've never liked me. They've never taken me in. They've never accepted me. I'll put it that way.
Have you called any of them?
We talked to his daughter.
No, about this.
No, I mean, like, about this. Does anyone know? Okay. So no one's gonna know until we will be making that notification. So
they're going
it's
to kill me.
okay.
Do
Well,
they live local?
Yes, they're down the road. They're going to kill me. His kids are going to kill me in Philadelphia. They're going to kill me. This was not intentional.
okay.
They're not going to understand that. They're not going to accept it.
We're gonna do a thorough investigation, and we will definitely make sure that you don't feel scared when we leave here. Okay.
And
When
my
we leave.
9-year-old.
Well, he's at school. He's with your husband.
I know. Well,
ex-husband.
Your husband said that, or your ex-husband said he made arrangements for your not to be picked up.
Former husband.
Well, it's interesting.
We're going to go inside if that's okay.
Yes, please, but can you guys just keep me posted?
Of course.
So I know what's
Something that hasn't come up this entire time.
Just take a second to set that down and set the volume again. It's definitely quieter when she's talking to the detectives, but being picked up on Kayla's body cam. So trying to balance that manually for you in the moment.
And now all of a sudden, like I said, passage of time gives a little clarity. You start thinking about other things that can definitely explain this. Once again, totally philosophical exercise we're doing here. But that just seems like an outpouring of superfluous information. Is she really afraid of the family? Obviously, there's been arrests on both sides with domestic violence.
No, I don't
know. I don't know what to think about that.
I don't think Kayla messed anything up. You might be a little behind watching Carolina, but this whole video, he's been shouting her out. It probably, like, we watched maybe 30 seconds of footage, and he spent 10 minutes talking about all the things she did right coming onto the crime scene. So this is a bit of a victory lap for Kayla Rodriguez, this guy's coverage. So, even to the neatness, like the way she keeps her car packed as a police supervisor. He's like, I like this. She's a good officer. So no, nothing but kudos for Kayla in this particular video.
To be 100% honest with y'all, but it seems interesting that now the notification has come up. Now she's concerned about it, and it hasn't come up at any other point in the video, at least as far as we can tell. So that's a lot of information, and it seems to go to an extreme. They're going to kill me, not they're going to come after me. They are going to kill me. that's a very explicit statement.
All you have to do is get their attention if you have a question or need to talk to us. He's standing right there. She'll be right here.
That's a mistake, Scott.
So you're telling me, like, you won't call whoever it is without telling me, right? I mean, I have all their phone.
We're not calling. We're not making phone calls. We're actually going to speak to them in person. We
That'll
are.
be later
They're
on.
going to, okay.
It'll be
You'll know
later.
prior to us making any
I'm
contact.
not going to be here. They're going to kill me.
Okay.
This was not intentional. I went back to that. This was not intentional.
Little pause too. She's right. She's not there. She stays at Brian's house. So who's feeding the dog? Who's feeding the mice? But Sarah's not going to be there because she's afraid for her life. Wonder if anyone else has been afraid for their life in that apartment in the last 24 hours.
Thank you.
So I'm trying to reconcile some of these things, and obviously giving her a huge benefit of the doubt at this time. Remember, this whole exercise is
Huge
based
benefit of the
on
doubt.
us having no preconceived knowledge of the case and going back from square one. But there's enough there that I don't believe I'm getting the full story. And what I need to figure out is, am I being lied to? Am I being deceived? Or is the trauma of what's going on affecting her ability to communicate what actually happened? And that's the role of the investigator. So we've only got a few more minutes left. So let's just see what we've got.
He says a few more minutes. I'm betting we've got 20 more minutes. If
That's interesting. She just said, I'm having panic attacks. And the only sign of tension or anxiety has been needing a cigarette and that little twitching thing that she did earlier.
Good call.
That's been the only thing there. And
I've got anxiety, but also in the last hour and a half that we've been watching this now, the only things I've asked for is Dr. Pepper and a cigarette.
Part of that could be controlled by her sitting on the ground, but
and water.
No nausea, no sweating, no.
I'm total cotton mouth
heart
right now.
Palpitations. She hasn't. Panic attacks are debilitating.
All the visible signs of an actual attack.
Dying, think they're having a heart attack, and
they're coming out now. I'll get you somebody, pal.
One thing I probably would have done, had I been on scene, and of course, this doesn't change anything, doesn't take away from anything that I'm saying here. This is all really solid police work. And if you followed my channel for any time at all, I call out bad police work.
Brian has a liquor cabinet.
And I'm just seeing good police work here. The one thing I probably would have done different is had an EMT get vitals and check out Sarah Boone and just kind of keep an eye on her and figure out if she's actually having a panic attack or there's a risk.
Well, her blood pressure's normal. Her pulse is 70. Seems pretty calm. Says she's having a panic attack.
So we will not know the answer to that because we're not doctors. So what's going to happen is he's going to go to the jailer's office and he'll have what's called an autopsy. Yeah. That'll be first thing tomorrow morning. I'll know a lot, hopefully a lot more tomorrow morning as far as him. But I cannot, there's no way I could say how, why.
So just by looking at him, why is he purple?
Oh, that's normal.
She wants to know some science now.
As soon as the heart stops beating, the blood starts to settle to the lowest points of the body.
Scott would make a good science teacher. Using grade 6 level words she can understand.
I'm really scared. I want you guys to know that.
You have all these deputies here, so while we're here, nothing's going to happen. Before we go and make any notification, you'll have plenty of time to leave or do
Run.
Whatever you need to do. Okay? We can talk about that more in length, but it's not going to be a surprise.
Real quick, and then, but I don't this was totally not Intentional.
Oh, well, that's different.
That's what I'm scared about.
Pack everything up, guys. Let's go home. This wasn't intentional.
We'll have all the answers. We'll have a lot more answers tomorrow after medical exam. Like you said, what you're seeing here is common. This is us coming out.
Protocol.
Yeah.
Protocol.
His age, no real medical history that we know of. For him to have passed
All
away.
Sarah, no cops. Protocol.
I know.
Yeah. We come out and do an investigation. Medical examiner's office, we send people out. This is what we do. If he was 75 years old and had a history of heart condition, we wouldn't be here.
I don't know what it is.
Exactly. And that's what we're here to find out. We're just here to get the answers.
Well, it turns out he died of having bitch girlfriend.
I just really want to see my son. I really need to see my son.
Don't say his name, please. I've gone this far through the stream.
So do I just like sit out here and wait?
Run. I'm scared. Run. I won't be here. I'm scared about what's going to happen to me. These are all things that
she's wearing the same shoes. Let's see, Carolina.
To sound like
I think she's wearing the same shoes that were beside the suitcase. There's a set of flip-flops in one of the photos. I think she's wearing them outside right now.
We're starting to go, or we're starting to build up to intent, and it's very subtle, but it's getting there. And I don't necessarily think that she's so much focused on George right now as she is focused on Sarah.
Hey, hello, baby.
Like today or after tomorrow? We have to. It's the law.
Once our investigation is pretty much complete here, once we leave here, we will be going to.
But again, you'll know. I'm not going to just go and do it without you knowing. You'll know. We'll talk to you prior to doing anything like that.
But how, I mean, I understand what you guys and how you do it, and, you know, so, but, like, what are you just telling him? What do you tell his parents? Like, what's the reason passed away?
We tell them what we know at that point. Yeah. We tell them the truth.
It's amazing what she knows and doesn't know.
Exactly.
And when and where she doesn't know it.
She knows what's what and how many when she wants to.
We'll give them their number. They can contact them and get it to them.
But yeah, they're gonna know what we're here, what we're investigating, and that they're gonna think I killed him.
Why would they think that?
They always have said that. They've always have said that. I told you it's because I'm the blue-eyed white dragon.
There you go. There's the Yu-Gi-Oh card.
I want him with me. So he's basically just not. Really
Last time she was the blue-eyed white devil, is what. So he picked that up too. Dragging the devil.
I've encouraged him numerous times to go there and see his family.
Oh, that's interesting. Usually, well, in Texas, it's common to notify the medical examiner or coroner before you get into your investigation and disturbing the crime scene. Different jurisdictions have different laws. In Florida, perhaps a paramedic can
my aunt and uncle are deceased.
Can
I guess their grandparents are still
or
alive.
determine that a death has occurred. In Texas, it does have to be a coroner or medical examiner or a medical physician.
Your phone's inside, correct?
Yes.
Does he have a phone?
No.
He doesn't have a phone. He used my phone.
Different jurisdictional policies and
Does he have a phone? Yeah, it might be in the suitcase.
The show is over to Brian's house. So I don't think he'll have a problem with it. Okay. So.
Well, like I said, we're not going to leave here. If you do not feel safe, you're not going to leave here with you not feeling safe. Because then we're like.
And like if the Torreses wanted to kill her, they wouldn't go to Brian's house to kill her. Like.
Shoot. There's going to be a funeral.
Right.
She lived at Brian's house when she hooked up with George.
No, I'm talking right here, right now.
When she went to buck up at Muldoon's.
Let me know, do this paperwork that I'm talking about, because we can go
Bucked up to get fucked up.
all day long. I promise we're not going to leave here for you and you not feel safe. Okay? I promise.
Please. Okay.
Please.
I don't even know what to tell you.
It's okay. Just take a seat, have some water, give us a few minutes, let us do our thing, and we'll be back to talk to you, I promise, okay?
Have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up.
Thank you.
Sorry, no Coke, water.
Yeah.
So I don't think Sarah Boone's asking anything odd here. Like, what are you going to tell them? Are you going to tell
It's
them that I'm
reasonable, yeah.
responsible? Are you going to tell them how he was found? All of these things, which right there kind of raises the.
They did share a phone, but George also had a phone. So I think if they wanted to use Wi-Fi or internet, it had to be Sarah's phone. But George might have still had a phone that wasn't connected to any account that had pictures on it and, you know, maybe apps and games and that sort of thing.
The legitimacy of her concern. But
I know in the interrogation she's wearing, it looks like the flip-flops that were beside the suitcase. So if it's, you know, weather-related footwear for her, just like the pink shorts, you know, or maybe seasonal rather than daily change.
When you hear things like that, one question that I might want to ask on scene is, have you ever made any threats towards George? Did you ever say that if he hit you again, you'd kill him? If he ever did this again, you'd kill him? If you ever found out about this, you'd kill him? Something like that. Did you ever threaten to strangle him? Did you ever threaten to anything like that? All of that could come up, and all that could be a factor in helping determine why she's scared, because in a fit of anger, rage, hostility, emotion.
Candace, I'm not sure. She definitely didn't say his phone was in the suitcase, but I feel like I know there was a description of some of George's goods in the suitcase, like that a baseball hat and some medication. So I don't know why, but for some reason I'm remembering that there was also now I'm forgetting what I even remembered. The phone. I seem to remember that his phone was in the suitcase, but I'm not sure where I picked that up from.
She said something that she probably shouldn't have, and that might be a clarifying question that I'd ask. But like I said, there's very little procedurally here that I have any issue with, and that's very rare, because usually I can look at a crime scene like this and start picking things apart. But very, very impressed. So they automatically expected that you were going to kill somebody. Why? What have you said in the past that makes them think
Suma.
that, one, you're capable of doing it, two, that you have the intention to do it? Why all of a sudden are they going to think you did this if you've never given them any reason to suspect that would ever happen? I statements. A lot of I statements that
I didn't pause.
The I statements in this case are interesting so far, because every time she's
about 10 minutes left of his coverage, so 15 of us together,
or she's referred to herself as, you know, just being this good person, caregiving type of individual.
Totally off topic, but just seeing Kurt and Rod there, I just pictured Lauren hearing that and going, Rod's over there? You didn't tell me that Kurt and Rod would be there.
Individual. Yet when she talks about other people, specifically George's family, it's always very negative. But in talking about George, it's very neutral. There's no information to really know how she feels about him one way or the other, which is a little telling. But the I statements are starting to pile on.
Thank you, hello, baby.
And starting to lead me to believe that she is far more concerned.
Kurt and Rod was the decider
than Jorge. Like if this was a legitimate
yes, another one,
and everything happened the way she said, I would expect her to completely be in pieces. Now, people do.
Either George was taking the good stuff with him, or Sarah ripped it down, mad at him, and was going to put up her own stuff after. But there was probably a full story to be told with the art and why she was making up, like, oh, we were purging the art to put up new stuff. Like, you take down one thing to put up one new thing. You don't take down everything.
Do grieve differently. They compartmentalize one thing or another. but those shows of emotion that we've had,
Repositioning
like I said,
one
they're
final
not
time.
consistent. And so I'm starting to think that
Eddie's here.
taking everything that we know so far,
this is the most uncomfortable seat ever.
I'm starting to have concerns. There's just all this new information that's coming up all of a sudden. And like I said, everything is very much focused on her.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that pretty much wraps everything.
Oh, he ends so abruptly too.
So, like I said, we're gonna.
You can see that's a cop haircut, right?
100%. This, but I wanted to.
Makes mine
start
look long and shaggy.
and I wanted to be able to form my own opinions. Right now, as it sits, I would probably be comfortable.
This is big.
Leaving her there. I'm probably looking to file criminal charges, but I'm probably not looking at anything like murder based on what she's telling me. But if I'm sitting down, I'm rewatching this body camera footage, I'm really listening what she's saying, what she's not saying, how she's saying it,
high and tight,
her demeanor, her body language, all those things are definitely going to tell me that
here we go.
We need to follow up and do a follow-up investigation. Of course, there's an interrogation, which will be the next video. But y'all, I know this was a long one. I hope you stuck it out. There's some good stuff there. I think the deputies on scene did a remarkable job.
Yep. We'll stick around for 5 minutes after he's done too, just to chat
but hopefully you can
say our goodbyes.
To see how when you're an experienced investigator and you have experience in dealing with people who have traumatically lost somebody or suddenly lost somebody, there are certain things that you kind of expect to see. And the fact that she's not displaying a whole bunch of emotion is not really the issue. It's
center ice seats for my tickets. About
when she
10 rows up.
Display any emotion, it's always about her actions, how it affects her.
I'm as close to monetized as you could be, A to B. We'll talk about it in a second.
Something's off. So anyway, y'all, I'm Derek Judd for Cowboy Criminology.
Boom.
Of course, I am the Cowboy Criminologist, and stay tuned because we're gonna have more about Sarah Boone coming up shortly. All right, y'all take care.
So for all the chat he does, when he wants to wrap up, it's time to go. That was the Cowboy Criminologist. His channel's linked in the chat. I think, pause it. That should be good. Okay, that's my furnace coming on schedule. Yeah, so this is free time. Let me back it up a little bit. Get the Canadian flag. Both ass cheeks on the ground again. Okay, yeah, I definitely need a more comfortable seat before I do that again, but I like the way it worked. I think people had a good time. I see a lot of you are still here. Let's talk about my monetization strategy. So I have just passed the watch hours. I think right now it says I have 2,950 something, and I've got 44 hours that I haven't been credited for that are in the pipe. So I'm basically, this might be the very last stream before I'm monetized. So my monetization strategy is going to be, let me change the light here so I'm not coming at you like a demon. Let's see, maybe 3/4. My monetization strategy is going to be just to enable the lowest tier price I can, which is 99 cents a month, US, $1.49 Canadian. I'm not going to unlock super chats to start. My thinking is I'd much rather have, if you want to give $10, give out 10 gift memberships at $10, $1 a piece. And I'm still going to say almost every comment. If you really want me to say it, say, hey, I gifted, please say this. And I'll do that instead of a super chat. I'd rather have more people have memberships. That said, there won't be members only content. It's going to be everything for everyone. I'll never do a members only video, or not never, but it's certainly not at this stage. We'll talk about the copyright strike in a bit too. That's kind of why this stream happened tonight. I basically, every time I get pushed in one direction, I push back harder the other way. So I'm like, you're not taking a stream away from me. I'm going to go stream for 2.5 hours. We'll do it again. We'll do it live. So back to the monetization part of it. I don't want to have to be creating value added content that's, only for 40 or 50 people. So all my content's always going to be for everyone, but the memberships will give you emojis and badges and that sort of thing. If I ever unlock a higher tier of membership, it might be something like $25 a month, and that would only be if I'm doing a major upgrade. So this, little room I'm in here, if I walled it off and put in, studio walls, soundproofing, converted it into a studio and, $15,000-$20,000 reno, sure, I'll open up to some higher tier memberships for people who want to sponsor that. And then again, you wouldn't get anything special aside from, a thank you at the end of every video, for the year or something like that, where, just like NPR does, thank you to the Coach Foundation and Saudi Investment Fund and whatever. I'll do a little shout out to members who want to, but you don't get anything extra. And that's my monetization strategy. Let's talk copyright strike. I got fucking screwed. If anyone joined me on last night's stream, we had a lot of fun. We were watching all kinds of random videos that were like, some of them were cartoons, even a couple with music. The music ones weren't a problem. So it was probably about 15 videos, and you can still see them. They're all in the playlist. These are the, videos I'm going to preview on my show. In the morning when it processed, I got 3 warnings that copyright material was detected, but the copyright holder didn't have an issue with the way it was used, which is correct, because if you watched it, it's fair use. I watched so many videos that no one video could claim that, this is going to, nobody's going to search for. I got the copyright strike for doing the exploding whale. So in Florence, Oregon, 1970, there was a whale that beached, and the authorities thought putting 4,500 kilograms of dynamite underneath it would blow it into tiny little chunks and, make it disappear. Turned out it made it into big chunks that landed a quarter mile away quite horrifically, to use a term. It was horrific. All this whale blubber's raining down on the people of Oregon who came out to witness this. And in my story, I used 1970 news archive footage of the event. And, okay, hello, baby, you've seen it. The reason I watched it is because these were all videos that were super popular 20 years ago when viral sharing sites started. So I just wanted to kind of share, stuff that I liked over the years. Anyway, I got a strike saying that I was using Dave Barry talking about the exploding whale controversy. And if you remember, Dave Barry was a humor writer. He had a newspaper column, but also wrote a lot of satirical columns. He did a thing about exploding Pop-Tarts catching fire, and it actually changed both the Pop-Tart recipe and toaster safety. And it's a side tangent. It wasn't the video I used. I used the original news footage. The video they're claiming I copyrighted also uses that news footage. Now, that said, I looked further into it, and Sinclair owns both the original and the Dave Barry footage. So even if I just claim no, I was reacting. So that's a whole nother kettle of fish. I'm going to dispute it, but it's such a nonsense claim, because clearly it's a 2.5 hour video. At the worst, tell me to trim it out. Don't copyright strike my video. So anyway, I was angry. I was despondent. I went through all the 7 stages of grief and tried bargaining, and then I just decided the best thing I could do is do another live stream. This time I'm only gonna do one guy's content, and that way I can't get multiple copyright strikes. I'm allowed 3, so if I get to 2, I can play it super safe. But I don't think Cowboy Criminologist will copyright strike me. I think this is, again, clearly fair use. He's not a monetized channel, or at least not fully monetized with AdSense. But, I want people to go to his channel. I want them to subscribe. If anything, maybe he comes back, does a co-hosting thing with me, rewatching his old videos with, a year's worth of hindsight and, you know, my insight. Maybe it's his insight, my hindsight. Regardless, we both got sight. We're going to look back if he wants to do it. So I don't think this will be a problem. Worst case, it is a problem. It's my second strike, and then I'll just do purely original content. You know, I can do original content. I don't need to react if I don't. But people like it. Everyone else is doing it. Why the fuck can't I? Anyway, that's what I have to say about copyright strike. What else are we going to discuss? Yeah, Duckula ruined Suma. Suma was, we were watching commercials, watching old TV, all kinds of stuff. And she did this maybe 20 seconds of the Duckula theme song, which I'd never heard before. And they struck her. And if anything, that's going to, you know, cause 30 more people than would have gone to see the Duckula theme song. In any case, yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All right, I'm going to go back into the chat, make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, so Candace asks if I have one of those stadium seats that you can take from the bleacher. Yeah, so here we go. This is what I've been sitting on. It's kind of one of these back things that you can put in the seat, and it's got like the stretchy thing that goes over the top. So I've been using this because it's kind of thick as my butt pillow, and I've got two other pillows underneath here. And I've got this is a chair cushion that I'm using as my backrest so that I could lean up against my Walmart end table here. So it's a little peek behind the curtain. But they're very good seats for my hockey game too, and that's the nice thing about junior hockey in a small town. One price seating, and if you buy seasons tickets, you kind of get your pick of the lot. So we've got some really good ones. We'll go back to Addie, who brought up memberships at the first, so you can get those fancy content creator chairs. The bigger, yeah. I've got a MacBook Pro on the way. It should be here Monday. I imagine it's going to take me at least a week to figure out how to use it. So don't look for new MacBook Pro content immediately. What the MacBook Pro is going to let me do is the documentary. So that's going to be the first project I kind of learn how to use the MacBook for. The secondary use of it is going to be for streaming. So I'm going to go back upstairs into the attic, set up the MacBook, and try streaming from that with my headset and microphone. Should be richer for residents, and yeah, it should be a big upgrade. So there's big things coming. Eventually, as I get better at using it and learning, I'll do all my work on the MacBook. As it is, everything that you see on my site so far is produced on one single iPhone. Almost everything. There's a couple of things that didn't work out that I did on the computer, but yeah, it's really, and you know, you can see by the size of my hands doing finicky editing. When you get into a 20-minute project and you have these little editing clips, it can get hard. So my life should get easier with this, and yours should get more entertaining. Okay, so what else do we have? Addie says, private content never mattered to me personally. What I like are stickers. So stickers I can do. I think a lot of, if you look on my community tab, any of the parodies I've done of Sarah, I could see myself cutting out, you know, just the heads, and I've got a few ideas for art, so I think we can have some fun stickers. Buy a brick. Now, what did the brick have? I saw that get posted earlier, and now I have no idea what the reference is for the brick, but we have a retailer out here called The Brick, but that's probably not what it's about. They do furniture and stuff on layaway. Addie is so late, has homework to do, big rewatch. Anyone who's planning to rewatch that's watching now, as soon as I close the stream, it's probably going to disappear and say private. I'm going to unlock it to public, but YouTube is taking a long time processing my stuff. Sometimes it's 1 or 2 hours. Other times it's about 6-8 hours. So if you're watching, don't close the stream, or when you come back, it's gone. If you're watching now, just try and rewind it in your window, hit pause. I think as long as the stream is active when you do that, you should be able to watch everything up to it. But if you rewind again, it'll go, the stream's not here and won't find your new spot. Maybe it's only what buffers. I don't know. I'm talking through. Sounds like I'm talking through my ass. It's through my mouth. Jello tequila shots. I don't know why that was brought up as well, Carolina, but it sounds like an excellent thing. Oh, maybe for if I'm bringing the guy on to discuss what's going on. Could see a cowboy enjoying a tequila and a chat. Addie is me quit my channel, or her, so my is hers, when she got several unwarranted strikes and there was no recourse. It's maddening. Yeah, worst case, I can just stop doing everything else besides pure original Sarah content. I've got, or not original, but I can use like all of the public domain court footage and that sort of thing that I know is safe using. So if that's what my channel has to be for 90 days until I clear up my strikes, then that's what it'll be. California Dreamer says, hey Dan and the little people in my phone. Here's a little kids in the hall. I'm squeezing my head. I'm crushing my head. Oh, there we go. Squeeze. Squeezing my head. There we go. Little phone person getting his head squished. Get a real... No, I did try a real chair. I have a real chair, but if I did, I would have been sitting way up here with where my TV is. So I think when I get the computer, I'll just do proper, streaming software and have the window with the little box with me in it and a box with whoever else in it. And we'll do it pro, but it's kind of nice knowing that I can Mickey Mouse this little MacGyver setup and still deliver something in case of a technical difficulty. But thank you, Addie. No, I've got chairs. That's not a total chair-free house. Dorgan has never had a Jello shot. I have had too many. They're not great, and especially if you think about, where gelatin comes from, but, try not to think too much about those sorts of things. Addie, he's sitting on the floor so we can see the TV behind. Exactly. It's all, my mom came down to have a look at my setup, and she was sniggering. She's like, what, and you're just going to sit there in that little, yep, that's what I'm going to do. What, for the whole 2 hours? Well, I can't go sit on the couch. Yeah, anyway. Just like Suma's mom, my mom likes to monitor the chat, make sure that people are being friendly. She's very impressed with all of you all so far. You're all being very nice to me. Oh, okay, yeah, we can do some Romper Room shoutouts before this is done. Let me see if I can find a looking glass. Sure be nice to have a looking glass for those shoutouts. Anyone who wants their Romper Room shoutout, make sure you stick around because that is definitely happening. What do I have that looks like a looking glass? That might work. No, that won't work. All right, I'll make a looking glass. Suma loves the setup. Fantastic. If any of you watched Tom Green's show, there was a period in between, I think when his MTV show went off air, but he was still doing a show in his basement. There's a great episode with Exhibit. Exhibit asks him to freestyle, or he asks Exhibit to freestyle, and Exhibit's like, yeah, if you do something that makes me, get a vibe, I'll do it. And then Tom Green just kind of busts out this great beat, and like, you can see Exhibit's face like, whoa, okay, you've got skills. Anyway, the Tom Green setup was a bit of an inspiration for me of how it doesn't really matter. If you've got a camera, you've got somewhere to sit and people who want to watch you, you don't need a fancy set and all those bells and whistles. One bell, one whistle. That's all I got. I didn't even bring my bells for this one. Okay, so we'll do the Romper Room shoutouts. We're getting 4 degrees in New York, and that's below zero. I'm above right now. Outside things are, it's a lot of moisture in the air. I think it's 1 or 2 degrees above freezing for us. The brick. Oh, okay. I have an extension cord. It's a power brick, but if I moved it, all the things that I've got connected to me right here would have to move. So let me see. And even this brick is plugged into another brick. Let's see, that comes around. There we go. That's one of the setups, but that's just to extend to get the air. And I had to unplug stuff to get this around. I should probably plug you back in just in case. I don't want that shutting down during the goodbyes. All right. Yeah, I got the, my power is daisy chained. It's kind of like Clark Griswold's power set up for the lights. Okay, I think it is time for Romper Room goodbyes. Say anything in the chat if you want your Romper Room goodbye, because the names I'm going to see are starting from Suma and Addie. This is my looking glass. What do I see through my magic looking glass? I see Suma out there. Good night, Suma. Thank you for coming. I see Addie. Addie is out there in Romper World. Do you see Addie? Doobie B. Addie's out there. Hello, baby. Hello, baby. We're going to say goodbye to hello. You say hello, we say goodbye. Hello, hello. Goodbye, goodbye. Tabby LH is out there. We see you, Tabby. Tabby LH, thank you for coming out. Carolina Hurtado, I know you were here. We have 23 chatters. Anyone who wants to be shouted out through the looking glass, now is the time. Victoria. I don't know who Victoria is, but we'll give Victoria a shot through the looking glass. I'm glad you guys had a good time. I hope you enjoyed Cowboy Criminologist. Let's give a Romper Room goodbye to the Cowboy Criminologist. Thank you all for coming out. Dorgan, we have a goodbye for. California Dreamer, we see you through the looking glass. Doobie and I are saying goodbye, and then I'll be saying hello to a Doobie. Goodbye, Candace. We see you through the looking glass. Stickman, you're here. You're ready to go. Have a good night. It's Saturday night, Sunday morning in some places. In Lowell, it's another day of the same old, same old. Addie is me. She never said her, right? Addie's full actual name that was never said in Romper Room. Ariadne. Oh, am I saying it right? You might have to give me a pronunciation. Ariadne. I think it's Ariadne's out there through my looking glass. I see Amy Salinger, who joined us tonight and joined with a subscription. Thank you so much. Hello Baby is on the replay. And if it disappears, Hello Baby, don't worry. It'll be back in the morning. It's just YouTube taking its time. Now that I've got one strike against me, I might be in the bad books. So don't worry, it'll stay. Everyone's having a good night. Ariadne, we say goodbye. Candace helping out with a pronunciation. Hopefully one of them was correct. There's a bear in there. And it's funny you say that. My grandson said that when he was a little kid, and it sounded so cute. Mommy, there's a bear. Where? Out there. A bear? Yeah, a bear out there. That was my little grandson, Jeff. So hello to Jeff. We see you through the Romper Room glass. Thank you, everyone. You all are the finest. I'm fine and dandy. I hope you're all dandy as well. It's time for this stream to end, and we'll have another one next week. Thank you. Hearts. Thank you, Joshua. I see you through the looking glass.